I've had a few beers. I've had a few.
Inconceivable!
In a world where laughter was king, on the edge of space.
Ludicrous speed! Go!
Get together, have a few laughs.
Masters of the universe!
Oh shit. Okay, so I guess we should just go ahead and get this thing rolling.
Yeah, let's do it.
Even though I've had a few.
That's fine.
You may have to take the wheel if it starts careening out of control.
I have done so much heroin today. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Drink some for me. By heroin, do you mean
Fruit snacks.
Fruit
heroin
snacks,
brand,
okay.
It's heroin brand fruit snacks.
Oh, it's a child's heroin, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I could see. Okay, now that registers now, I get why heroin is also a drug that people use. These are
See
just
why I might make that mistake.
regular-
Common misunderstanding.
regular
fruit
fruit
snacks,
snacks.
actual heroin.
Yes.
Dope.
Brand, really, heroin brand fruit snacks should change their name. I think it's probably why I'm one of the only customers.
Yeah, it's probably why they actually won't carry it in any store,
And people
except in
get there.
Tijuana.
People get there and they're like, "Oh, where's the heroin?" It's like it's just these fruit snacks.
It's just fruit snacks.
But-
They're just fruit sharks, really.
I
That's all they
came
were.
for the fruit snacks. All these other guys thought there was going to be illegal narcotics. I was there for the fruit snacks.
All right, so we got a little loosened up. We're good to
Yes.
go. Welcome to the Cinemasters podcast. I am your host, Ron Avis.
And I am Adam Peterson.
And this week, we welcome you back.
Welcome.
Where
This is where you sit.
you just have a seat right
This is
there.
the proverbial seat.
We promise not to eat you,
Yeah.
like we did back in episode 2. We
It's
ate.
cozy.
It's warm. There's
Yeah.
a warmth and radiation going on here. You don't even
Yeah.
know. You don't even
Anytime.
want to know.
It's just, we're sharing body heat. That's a natural human thing to do, right?
Yeah, I don't have to turn the heater on upstairs.
Yeah. Don't just huddle up with some people.
I just start moving around a little bit, and then the heat just starts to generate.
Emanates.
Just Adam.
Yes.
So last we left off, we were doing a fun new game that you had come
We
up with.
were doing a fun new game.
And I remind me, was it called Who Played It Better, or was it something?
I think that's what we ended up with.
Who Played It Better.
Yes.
Okay. And it's a fun idea, and I'm excited for it, but it was tricky.
It was very tricky. Like
And
that song.
It was like I was really trying to rock a rhyme, but I couldn't because
It's
I
tricky.
suck at words,
It's tricky, tricky, tricky.
as they say. But yeah, so Who Played It Better? I assigned you a movie, and that movie was...
Silence of the Lambs.
Yes, and then you gave me very cruelly Breakfast Club.
I did.
You were casting now. You had taken up that you were like gonna go full on. I was really only gonna say you just cast Hannibal and Starling and Buffalo
Buffalo Bill.
Bill, but you were like no I'm gonna go a little bit further. I'm gonna do like the warden and some other minor characters. So, how should we do this? Should we do each other's? Well, yeah, we'll do one movie at a time. It wouldn't make any sense to go back and forth. That would just confuse people. So who would you like to go first?
I can go first.
I'm dying. I want to know who you got here.
right.
All right. So for the choice of yours, the Silence of the Lambs, in whatever order you want to go.
I'm gonna tease this. I'm gonna build up.
Yeah, I
'cause
figured.
Everybody wants to know who I picked for Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, you're not going to give that one right
Paul
away.
Rubens.
Paul Rubens. Damn it.
I'm like 10 seconds into this, and I just okay. Pee Wee Herman, Bobcat Goldthwait, and what was the other one? There was one more impression. Yes, Roger Rabbit. Yes.
Let me do that again. Please.
That's a fantastic spot on. I'm like this. I'm gonna have to start trying to find more and more characters that I can get you to.
No, your
really
impressions
love
are actually useful. Mine are just so stupid.
I've not done anything on the show that's anywhere close to that.
Okay. All right.
I-
Fine.
Those are fantastic.
I'm glowing. I'm glowing like a pretty princess
Yes,
on
like a
prom
pregnant
day.
woman.
My
Or
sweet
no.
what?
That's something different.
A sweet
they say.
16 pregnant woman?
Oh, that's on MTV, I think.
I think it is. We better be quiet or we'll owe them money. We'll owe them all the money we don't make.
We will give you a portion of whatever profits we make to not sue us. A portion.
Portion. That reminds me, there was it a comedian who said his favorite euphemism for like giving a girl his snack, his hang low.
That changes your whole dynamic for your nickname, Snack Attack.
No, but his penis. I'm like dancing around it. but he would say
Go for the gold.
But he would call it his portion. Yeah, for a portion, and it's just like a very, very quaint British way of saying, care for some penis.
It's upfront.
Where the hell are we going?
It's upfront advertising. We've taken a hard left right out the gates.
Of course we did.
You know what? I think this is the people we have watching. This is going to be a hook. But I was like, you got to watch this. These guys are just.
They're just out of their minds.
Yeah,
They're just dirty boys.
Yes. It's like the Jerky Boys, but a little bit different because I don't think they were podcasters.
He said penis.
Yeah. A number of times at this point.
Yeah, really.
Number.
We have lost our for everyone rating, I think, at this point.
This is not. It's, it is still anatomically correct. We're not using slang. It's just.
That's true. I'm not using like crude, nasty.
No, you're not being crass.
Yeah, I'm not being crass at all. I'm
actual
penis.
Exactly.
Penis, vagina. I'm gonna have like a penis counter like going over my shoulder.
We need that. We need that.
Babe, wait!
Let's just kick it off.
Babe, wait!
Let's do it.
Babe, wait! Babe, no! Babe, no! Babe, no! Babe!
You didn't know it was coming this early, did
No.
you? Oh boy, you were
The
just
1-2 punch right there.
last week, the very end of the show.
Yep.
This week, about 15 minutes in.
In
For
your
those
face.
of you who are playing, if you had a pool of some kind, if you were like within the first 20 minutes, you are the winner.
You won.
Okay, where the hell were we? We were talking about Hannibal,
Yes.
and you said a portion,
A portion.
and that's where we went very wrong. And we went bye-bye.
It's fine. It's fine. It happens.
It does.
We have little tangents like that. All right.
Tangents are my favorite fruit.
Exactly. As you said, I added 3 characters to my roster, so that I had a total of 6. And the first one I'm going to go with, this I think was actually one of the easiest ones. Barney Matthews. He was actually in all 3. He was in Silence of the Lambs, he was in Hannibal, and he was in Red Dragon. He's played by the same guy, Frankie Faison. He was the orderly who Hannibal Lecter actually had kind of a mutual respect with.
Yeah, okay.
And so if I'm recasting this for kind of a today, I went with Craig Robinson.
Oh, I like it.
I think because he would, because there was a tone to Frankie Faison that was not overtly comedic, but was also in the midst of a very serious movie. He was a little bit less intense. So I think Craig Robinson. It just seems like a really similar crossover. Actually, I had Lakeith Stanfield and Will Sasso were kind of my backups, but I felt like Craig Robinson.
I hope he were to just say, if you could just work in, take your panties off. Like that would be great.
It would take the movie in a different direction.
It would.
But we're not opposed to different directions.
No, but I should never be a director of any movie. Because then I would just encourage actors to do lines from other movies they're known for.
That's true. But
And Bruce Willis apparently is not a big fan of that, according to Kevin Smith.
I don't know how quick we would get him in one of our productions. I don't know that we have that kind of pull.
Bruce Willis, if you're out there and you want to be on this podcast, we challenge you.
You're welcome.
To come sit in the middle where we've already established it's nice and cozy and warm,
Very
radiation emanating heat.
Yes.
And do we ever figure out what who he's like? I remember like a few shows back, I wanted to call him like somebody's finest or
we did.
yeah, and I wanted to say like New Jersey, but that didn't quite sound right either. And I don't even know.
Rhode Island? No.
That's just Peter Griffin.
Yes.
Anyways,
Connecticut's favorite?
No. I don't think so. He's not a Connecticut guy. I
No.
don't think. Not really. I mean, like Brooklyn, Jersey.
I Ottawa.
Bingo.
Ottawa's favorite.
Ottawa's own
Yep.
Bruce
Bruce.
Willis.
Not
I
even
almost
from
said
there.
Bruce Campbell.
That's fine. It's Bruce's.
Bruce could be a Canadian. It wouldn't shock me. But I think he's from Michigan, actually, which is right up at the north.
It's a mitten.
It's just a hop, skip, and a schooner ride away.
Yep.
So
If you're a good swimmer, you could make it.
you can see. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's not that bad. I mean,
No.
I'm not in any kind of shape, nor can I swim to make it across.
If there was a current, I could float.
If I had a floaty, I could maybe paddle my way across.
If I had enough snacks, I could just kind of, I could just let the water
like-
take me. I get like a fanny pack and pack it full of snacks.
Nice.
And then just float from Canada over to Michigan.
Maybe you could just have a kindly duck. Convince him
Oh.
to float beside you and pull the fanny pack.
Yeah.
They do that, right?
Ducks can be trained. They can be trained to do any number of things.
Mallards are very smart.
Yes, they are totally capable of things like that.
So Craig Robinson.
Craig Robinson.
I like the list so far.
All right. Second character.
And he's the kind of guy where you're happy to see him because he's going to cut that tension a little bit.
Yes.
He can make a little bit of a joke here or there, just with a wry look, you know.
Yes.
He's funny. He's just funny.
And really, like, you know, in the original, he didn't, I mean, Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins, did not have a tremendous amount of, as he won an Academy Award for the movie,
Oh,
did
yeah.
not have a lot of screen time in that
Less than 30 minutes.
movie. Yeah. So, very minor character, but I think still can be, you know, really punch it with a Craig Robinson.
All right, next.
Next, the Frederick Chilton. He was he was played by Anthony Heald. I don't know, Heald. He was kind of the wormy guy that administered the psych prison where Hannibal Lecter was. So for
You picked a wormy guy.
I picked a wormy guy. I actually Googled actors who typically play creeps.
Really?
Yes, I Googled
Did you
that.
really?
I wanted to, because I wanted to have it like I have a lot of stuff in my brain, but it's when I was like, all right, let me see if I can immediately narrow it, just at least kind of for some point of reference, get the juices flowing,
That's what Google's for,
the
man.
creative juices,
Ah, yes.
freshly squeezed creative
Freshly
juice.
squeezed creative juices.
Yes,
At your grocer.
At your grocer.
At your grocer right now.
right there,
Wherever
in the,
you are in your little corner of the
in the
world.
juice aisle.
Creative juices.
If you're listening to our podcast in the juice aisle at your grocer, this is just serendipitous.
It would
Creative
be.
juices.
Oh my gosh, I want some of that.
Yeah, right there,
Please ask for some freshly squeezed.
creative juices.
Yes, I would love that. Just to confuse the kid who's working there.
So I ended up, for this role, I went with Christoph Waltz.
Ah, yeah. Who ordinarily does his best work in a Tarantino joint.
Yes.
But you can't go wrong with that guy. You can go wrong
You
with him
can,
sometimes. He
but-
has been known to pick a few stinkers from time to time. Now, do you think he would be, because that's not a real meaty role, is it?
No, it would be a very minor role.
Yeah.
But I think he would do it a good service.
He's a character actor. He will
Yes.
always be a character actor. He's not going to headline. So he would, of course, be very thankful to be involved in the Silence of the Lambs remake, I would imagine.
And he would bring the sophistication of the role, because that was very much how Anthony Heald played it. He was this very pompous kind of guy,
Yeah.
who at the same time thought like, oh, Clarice Starling will be so impressed with my position here that she will find me irresistible.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
Just think of his character in Django, the way he
Yeah.
would, he was very pompous, but
and Inglourious Bastards.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, very much.
Exploding on the scene, basically, in that movie.
And I was like, okay. The more that I thought about it, because I had Michael Emerson from Lost, Will Forte, which I didn't go with him just because he would be too comedic, but
Two comedic
Yeah.
guys
it would
back
be,
to back.
It would be too much.
Yeah, you're like, is this a comedy or is this
I was
Silence
like,
of
this
the
is a
Lambs?
very weird.
This is
thing.
Did I just walk into a parody? Did I put money down for a parody?
If Leslie Nielsen's in this, I will be surprised because he's dead. But
He's
yeah.
like Hannibal.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be. They would put him in as Hannibal Lecter. That's what they would do if they're doing a parody. It's like,
He would have the mask.
Leslie Nielsen as Hannibal Lecter.
He's probably already done it, to be honest.
Probably has.
All right, so who do we got next?
Jack Crawford, who was Clarice Starling's boss,
Yep.
played by Scott Glenn. Who is
Scott Glenn. I love Scott Glenn. Yeah,
recently found a little bit more fame with the Castle Rock series on Hulu.
he played the father of Stick. I
Stick on
usually
Daredevil.
refer to him as Stick.
So
Because not too many people are fans of Urban Cowboy and
you don't get as many.
the right stuff. He was very famous in the 70s and
Yes.
80s. Then he kind of like was just off doing
Fizzled out.
crap,
was
just
doing
whatever.
other
I'm
stuff.
sure he was doing things. He's probably just like hanging out in your neighborhood.
Yeah, he was in your neighborhood.
He was sleeping underneath a tree.
Yeah, just snoozing.
Is that Scott Glenn?
Just snoozing? You might bring him out a
A
little blanket.
non-threatening nap.
Like he's just here.
So who on earth can you find that's like actually Scott Glenn?
This one was actually kind of tough.
Yeah.
And I ended up going with Patrick Wilson.
Of the Conjuring movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit more juice going right now. Like he's been in. I mean, he was in
Yes.
that Fish Boy movie.
That's right. He was.
Yes.
What was that movie again? It was
Fish Boy.
Fish Boy.
And he played Orm. His character's name is Orm. Just really pulling out all the stops there.
Can't even call him Fishman.
Orm.
He didn't name the character. He just
No.
showed up, got a big fat paycheck, and
Yes, you'll be playing Orm.
So, okay, I have a question for you then. We didn't even go this route, but would this movie be directed by James Wan by any chance?
He was one of the names in my, because I was one of the things after I'd finished up my list was like, who would direct this? And James Wan was one of the ones.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
It would be
and of course, he does show up. He appears in like a lot of his movies.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm getting chills thinking about that.
He would handle it well. He's a very capable modern director.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
that was kind of,
And he handles just tension and just
Oh, yeah.
creepy ickiness very
Yeah.
well.
and I was like, having a working relationship with Patrick Wilson, like would really know how to apply him. I had Matthew McConaughey. I was like, he's a little.
Oh yeah, that would be tricky.
That would be tricky.
You don't ever know what kind of McConaughey you're gonna get.
He could do it, but and he's a little bit. I mean, even though he's lost a little bit of his.
He's on a downswing
Yeah,
right now,
but
for sure.
I had Ed Norton potentially playing it, which I would do in kind of a fun way since he was in Red Dragon, like
Oh right,
So it's like okay, but and then Tom Jane and Tyler Perry. I was like
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry because he's actually pretty capable in a role like this.
He is. I mean,
was like,
you
you
think
know
of
what?
him as the Medea guy,
Yeah,
and
but-
but when he shows up and stuff, I really liked him in Gone Girl.
Yes.
I thought he was awesome.
He
in
was
that.
fantastic, and I think that's why I was so happy that he was putting the Medea character to rest.
Is he really though?
I hope he does.
Did he at least release 2 Medea movies already this year?
I get that it's a moneymaker. I get that. I mean, it really caters well to
Prince
the
money.
audience that it's going towards. But it's one of those like, for him, I think he has a lot more ability than just that character.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I just hoped that I hope with that he'll find more roles. So
And he was Baxter Stockman.
he was,
Yeah.
and he was a good Baxter Stockman.
He wasn't bad.
He was fun.
He
I
wasn't
enjoyed
bad
him.
at all. All right, so now it's the main event.
Now we're in the
It's-
main
It's the meat. It's the headliners.
Yes. This one was actually really easy for me. This I think was the easiest, maybe second easiest, because I think Craig Robinson was kind of a quick, easy one. Buffalo Bill,
Okay.
originally played by Ted Levine, however you want to say his last name. I think he probably has a way.
Levino?
I think
Levini?
he has a way that he likes to say it.
Yeah.
Because it's his name.
Probably.
But I don't know that he would really mind. if
Don't
you
take
said
offense,
Yeah.
Ted Levine.
Ted Levine.
Levine.
Levin.
Levini. That's
Levini.
it. That makes sense.
Could be any of these. I don't know.
All right, lay it on me, man. Who's Buffalo Bill?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, yeah, okay. God, he's a weird guy.
He's a weird guy.
Yeah.
He's got great presence. He owns the role, and he's really, to me, he's on and up. I mean, he's got Joker coming out.
Yeah.
He's had a number of things. I know what was the one he just did with Jonah Hill? That I think it was an Amazon movie. He was in a wheelchair. It was a biopic.
I remember that
flick.
one. Jonah Hill's doing a lot of Netflix stuff.
He is. He's gotten less funny too, but that's
Too
kind
bad.
of
He couldn't keep up that same sophomoric humor forever.
No.
I mean, that's what Adam Sandler does.
yes.
Still love you, Adam.
We do. Not me, Adam Sandler. No one loves me.
The Sandman.
The Sandman.
So you got Joaquin Phoenix, who would probably just dive right into that.
Oh, it was, and honestly, this
Just sink his teeth in a role like that.
the only thing that made it difficult was like I came up with so many other people who could play really creepy bad guys as well as him.
Well, give us some for instances since you.
Crispin Glover.
Oh yeah.
I felt like he was a little bit out of the age range that I was looking for.
True.
Then I had Jackie Earl Haley.
Oh yeah. I like that. That's a good choice.
Cillian Murphy. I thought
Cillian Murphy, and for sure a creepy dude.
Wes Bentley, a little bit lesser known.
Wes Bentley, remind me.
He was in the Hunger Games. The first one had the weird facial hair.
Oh,
he was the kid that filmed the plastic bag moving around in American.
Oh, okay.
Beauty.
Yeah,
he's kind of an odd duck.
Dude.
Rami Malek. He's got a lot of
just won an Academy Award.
Yes. And then actually my last minute addition, and it was already after I'd picked Joaquin Phoenix, but I just wanted him on the list, was Jake Gyllenhaal. After his work on Nightcrawler, I was like, you know what? He could play Buffalo Bill.
Oh yeah. Well, Donnie Darko too. I mean, that's such a eerie movie as well.
Joaquin Phoenix, I think, could play, or Jake Gyllenhaal, I think, could play anything.
This is a really fun exercise, like playing cast director, because you actually like had a bunch. I didn't do that. I wasn't as committed. There was a couple of characters that were really tricky for me, and I just kept erasing people and going back. But you actually had some like, see, if I'm casting my movie, I might get one of 7 people that I wanted, and I'm like, shit, I got no alternatives. I guess I'm just gonna have to call my friends to come over. So, hey, can you do an Emilio Estevez like character?
I am right now, actually.
Okay,
I am doing. This is me as Emilio Estevez.
Just put some.
I'm Emilio Estevez. I mean, I'm Coach Gordon Bombay.
No, wrong movie. Wrong movie.
But I'm still Emilio Estevez.
True.
I just demand that everyone calls me Coach
Bombay. Yeah.
Gordon Bombay.
And he thinks he has an actual drinking problem or whatever.
I think so.
Part of all of his characters' arcs.
Just fits into.
So what you're saying is my character has a drinking problem. No, actually, this is not at all what we were.
How did you pull that out of? He's a friendly zookeeper. What? Where did you get youth hockey coach and drinking problem?
Talk to my agent.
He leads tours for children around a zoo.
There will be no drinking at all.
Why would you be drinking?
Yeah,
that just seems like a bad idea.
Just to seem like
we're gonna have to pass, Emilio. Sorry,
maybe next time. But yeah, you have all these interesting choices to go by. Okay,
all right.
So I love the Joaquin Phoenix thing. Good, it's a solid cast. This is a very deep cast.
That was the other thing.
This is a serious project.
As I was putting this together, is when I was like, as I was adding names to it, I was like, okay, I like this person for this character. Did they still gel in the overall? And I was like, I think that was what I struggled with. I wanted, once I had a comprehensive cast, I was like, okay, I want this to still gel and make sense. You know, the way that the relationships function within, I wanted them to make sense. Like, okay, I think everything does. I think this works.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
All right. So down to the final 2: Clarice Starling.
Don't make me wait anymore.
Jodie Foster.
Yep.
Outside of Taxi Driver, probably her second most iconic role.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean,
Taxi Driver just got her the Academy Award, so I always count that as,
as you should, I guess, if you win the most prestigious award for your craft.
As a child.
Playing
a prostitute, it's
She's so overrated, though, for real.
She is.
I mean, I've seen kids on YouTube videos, circles around that kid, but anyway. Who am I throwing her under the bus for?
Yeah. Screw you, Jodie Foster. You don't know anything.
You know who could have been just as good in that role? Dame Judi Dench. Playing a child.
As a prostitute. Dame Judi Dench is a child prostitute in the movie Taxi Driver. I would watch that movie all day long.
That's my Taxi Driver.
That's Ron's Taxi Driver. That's a great movie.
Oh, thank you.
I should go fit in well with Sybil Shepherd and a young, crazy Robert De Niro. And Harvey Keitel. It would be her and Harvey Keitel. That would be fantastic.
Don't tell me there wouldn't be explosive chemistry on that.
Explosive chemistry.
Boom, bam.
In your face like fireworks.
Oh, I was hoping to get a sandwich. Boom, bam.
Sandwiches. There it is.
That's our catchphrase.
It is. We're going to put it on a t-shirt and a bumper sticker. And a magnet.
And a magnet.
Yes, a magnet you can put on your refrigerator or anywhere else that is metal that magnets would go in your house.
I would like to put it on rolls of toilet paper.
Yeah.
That would be the best. I could just be like, boom, bam, sandwiches.
Get you a meatball sandwich from Jerry Testaverde, and then on the way out, get wiped off with the boom, bam sandwiches, toilet paper.
You're not going to cast Sandra Bullock as
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. Without further ado,
didn't- she
who
didn't make
is
the
Jodie Foster? The new
Jodie Foster. The new
Yeah.
Jodie Foster. Emma Roberts.
Emma Roberts, Julia Roberts' niece.
Yes.
That Emma Roberts.
That Emma Roberts.
Okay. Convince me.
She has been in a number of things. I think probably what I enjoyed her most in, outside of kind of her just the standard fare, is it's kind of a funny story with Zach Galifianakis. It's about a kid who is he's struggling with kind of his own depression, and so it's not totally for attention. He inadvertently gets himself checked into the mental wing of a hospital.
Yep.
And then immediately regrets it, but kind of falls for this Emma Roberts. And it's one of the movies I've seen her in. And then We're the Millers.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think I was because the thing that was hard for me is I wanted somebody that had the ability to really convey the role, because you're looking for somebody young. You got to have somebody, because that was the whole thing about Clarice Starling, was she was just, she was I don't know, she wasn't really even totally out of the academy yet. She was a very young, she was very capable, very intelligent, but had to have that, I'm kind of a kid at the same time, because that was the dynamic between her and Hannibal Lecter.
They'd have been around the same age.
I think they were
possibly
similar. I
can see that.
And she plays younger, but she plays very capable to me. That was the other names I had on my list. I had Zendaya, which she just has the one name. She
From
has
Home Spider-Man and
yes,
what was the circus movie?
The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
She's been in a number of things. Kind of has that same kind of. There's a little bit of a. She got youthfulness, but there's kind of like that a maturity to it as well.
Yes.
Taylor Russell, which I don't think anybody would probably know.
Is that from the Orange is the New Black?
She is in the new Escape Room movie.
Okay, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's not got a lot of acting credits, but I recently watched that. Was really impressed with her
So
ability.
you're gonna put a lot of character actors around this Emma Roberts, who, this would be her biggest role
Yes.
by far. If she were to land a role like that, take on that.
Yes.
Maybe not a lot of actors too would want to do that role. Like, she's a young, hungry actress.
Yes.
Like, she might go for it.
And I think that's really the thing, because I was there's gonna be some real tension between her and Hannibal Lecter. How is she gonna? And the other part of it too is the voice. You got to be able to nail there's that little bit of a twang.
It's a draw. There's
Yeah.
like a southern draw. For
And
sure.
so you got to have somebody that can really meaningfully incorporate, because Julianne Moore I don't think really did that in Hannibal. She really didn't nail that very well.
Yeah.
She was trying too
It's
hard.
like they just cast a redhead.
Yes.
They're like,
And
good
it was
enough.
like,
Who do we have that's got a red hair?
who's somebody that doesn't remind us at all of Jodie Foster?
Yeah.
Julianne Moore. She's not a very good actress.
And I
and
love her. Well, she's pretty decent. I like her. and
she's
stuff.
had some things. I think
Yeah.
after Forgotten, I was just kind of like, I don't know if I have anything else for you.
She was in a movie where she played. What was that? She met this dude in AA meeting or something, and it was the Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie where he was addicted to like hot chicks and porn, like Don Juan. I really liked her in Don Juan. I thought she was really cool in that movie, but I don't know if that was before or after Forgotten.
It was after.
Okay, anyway.
She's had some things, but
Yeah.
Hannibal was not one.
No.
So, and then I had Claire Foy and Anna Kendrick were my other two.
Claire Foy is interesting. Yeah,
She could have done it too. I think with an Emma Roberts, I mean, not that Jodie Foster drove the audience, because even with her Academy Award for Taxi Driver, she was not necessarily a household name when when Silence of the Lambs came out. I mean, at least in my estimate, I mean, she had a few things, but it wasn't. I mean, she to me was not necessarily the draw to see this movie.
No, not really. It was just a creepy thing.
Yeah.
It's funny. I would actually really like to see Anna Kendrick in that role.
I think she would. I mean, she can play really serious, really well. And I find her to be delightful in just about everything she does.
I really enjoyed her in the movie with Ben Affleck where he was the assassin.
The accountant.
Yeah, the accountant. Like, that's a pretty serious role.
That was, yeah.
I think she could do that. Like, she typically plays You know, like, well, to me, she's like Sandra Bullock, but like more successful
Yes.
at that. You know, like, I don't find her just irritating.
She's far more charming.
Yeah, she is more charming, and that's just me.
Yes. No, it's me too. I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So now,
drum roll.
here we are.
Hannibal Lecter,
Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Did you see the list? Could you? Is there?
No.
Is there like a mirror?
Hey, I want to like eat your liver with some fiber beans and Chianti.
Oh my!
I wasn't even working on it.
This episode, we've had Pee Wee, Roger Rabbit, and Bob. That is the trifecta.
I'm available if you want to cast me in
Kids
something.
parties.
Kids parties.
Kids parties.
I wasn't thinking that, but I can't really do balloon animals.
Gotta start small.
Okay.
We'll start with kids parties.
Okay.
I'll
it
be
worked.
there.
It worked for the Ghostbusters.
I'll be there as your agent. I'll just chain smoke and shout things.
Wouldn't frighten a kid
Nope.
or concern a parent. Not a one.
Yeah, and I have asthma, so chain smoking is not going to work well
It's
for me.
not a good idea.
taking one
You're
for the
just
team
coughing all the time. Happy birthday, kid. Okay. Hannibal Lecter. Let's have
All right,
it.
Hannibal Lecter,
right.
David Tennant.
Ooh, David Tennant, Scrooge McDuck.
I went with David.
David Tennant. Oh, I know the role that probably influenced you the most, but go on.
The Samaritan, Bad Samaritan. Bad Samaritan. Well, Doctor Who is where I love.
It's not actually what I was thinking, but so tell me about Bad Samaritan. I haven't seen that.
Bad Samaritan to me is probably one of the. I mean, David Tennant has been in a number of things.
I know him most as was it Kilgrave?
Oh yeah, Kilgrave.
Kilgrave. Yeah, from Jessica Jones.
From Jessica Jones.
Loved him in that.
And he was a very sympathetic, likable bad guy in that. So there's that.
Well,
plays-
too, and he was also his whole superpower was messing with people's minds.
Yes. So he's got that groundwork. I like his versatility as the 10th Doctor, Doctor Who. He was my favorite Doctor. And Bad Samaritan, which came out I think 2 years ago. He plays a guy. He's comes off as just kind of a bit of an a-hole, and there are these two kids that have a scam they run. They're valet parking attendants for kind of this fancy restaurant. What they do is they take people's cars. Well, one kid stays there and he's the lookout. The other kid takes the car, and if it has GPS, they press home. They go check out their home while the people are eating dinner and see if there's anything they could steal. So when they do this to David Tennant's character, the kid that goes there, he's looking around for stuff, and he stumbles upon a woman who's locked up in this secret room.
Oh, you know what? I think I remember seeing trailers for that. Yeah, that looks pretty good.
And he was genuinely disturbing in that. And that to me drove a lot of the back, because I wanted a British actor. I had a couple that were not, but my top three, I had David Tennant, who I went with, Simon Pegg, Michael Sheen. Those are my
Simon Pegg.
that
would be interesting.
I think he has it. He would play towards a comedic. I think people would kind of question it at first, but I think after you saw him, because to me he has he's been in a couple things. I forget the name of it. He was one was Fantastic Fear of Everything, where he was going insane. Then there was another one where he played an assassin, and he was just a really kind of a stone cold, a very different kind of character for him. So I feel like he has enough versatility. When I got to it, as David Tennant really takes the reign. And then I had Jeffrey Wright and Andre Braugher. Andre Braugher I love from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but he has that intensity. He has that seriousness. He has that. I was curious. I didn't know that he would gel as well with the cast, and I like the British element to it. So,
but David Tennant is the guy.
David Tennant, I think, nails it. I think when you round it out, David Tennant, Emma Roberts, Joaquin Phoenix, because you have Joaquin Phoenix, even though Buffalo Bill and Hannibal Lecter had no screen time, there was an implied relationship there, and I feel like David Tennant and Joaquin Phoenix. Well,
you have to buy that they would be on the same wavelength mentally, because that was the whole point. Help me think like this guy.
I need your guidance. So I was like, okay, I buy that. And then so to me, it's like, okay, this is my cast. And when I sat there, I was like, all right, everybody. I feel like these are the right roles. I feel like everybody gels. I just need to call James Wan. Pitch
I was
it
going
to
to say
him.
Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein. I need to call him to get molested, and then call
You're right.
James
First
Wan.
get molested, and
Get
then
molested, then call James
Yes,
Wan and do
yes.
a movie.
the James Wan thing. I would love that so much.
Yes.
I would see that Patrick Wilson and be like, oh, this is a very creepy looking movie. Is this James Wan? This is a James Wan joint.
James Wan, and it's like
It's a JWJ.
JWJ.
Yeah.
That's what they call it in the industry, I believe.
Oh yeah, I read the trades.
Yep, the trades. I read that too.
That's jargon for
Yep.
magazine.
It's movie talk.
Yeah, it's movie talk.
We're just a couple of movie guys.
Just a couple movie guys here too, with an insatiable appetite for movies. Okay, that was great, man. I enjoyed. There were a lot of surprises, but then there were also like on the nose, picks. Specifically, the Buffalo Bill and David Tennant. Like those are like right on the nose. The Emma Roberts thing, if that were to happen, I'd be like, you got to sell me on this because I'm just not as familiar with her work. I guess. Okay, we'll move on to mine, I guess, which was The Breakfast Club.
The Breakfast Club.
One of my all-time favorites. Now, the challenge to me with The Breakfast Club is I had to get familiar with young Hollywood.
Yes.
You saddled me with like I had to go young. I'm doing like you're doing Google searches for creepy actors. I'm doing Google searches for like Hollywood's hottest, like youngest. Like my search history is so embarrassing right now. Because I gotta find believably looking kids, right? And if you're a young actor, you're not gonna have this like great body of work that you can analyze and go, I can see that person just fits right in that role. So I did the best I could. I did my best. I did my best. I too will probably now. I don't know. It's such an ensemble.
I'm most curious about the janitor.
I think you'll like my pick for the janitor. But let's start with the actual kids.
All right.
Okay, so the Andrew, Emilio Estevez character.
The jock.
The jock. Now, this one, I even kind of reversed two characters. Like, I had the actors and I changed roles. Like, that can happen sometimes. You get in there, a guy reads for a role, and then he impresses for another one. So I picked Ty Sheridan as the Emilio Estevez character because he is sort of this all-American facade, and he's a really good actor.
I dig it.
From the things that I've seen him in, Mud, he could play the character whose dad abused him, and you wouldn't know it from looking from the outside in. And I could see him like delivering the whole like butt cheek speech.
He could take all the layers.
Yeah, he could take all those layers, and I could believe because like it's not like Emilio Estevez was this believable jock.
Like, oh, Emilio Estevez.
Yeah,
no one had even seen Mighty Ducks yet.
but I could really Coach Bombay. I could really see Ty, and I'm a huge fan of the kid.
He's great.
I thought he was an awesome choice for the Ready Player One.
Yep.
And it's not like he had that if he could have done like a mini series in that role, that would have been awesome as Percival. But
Cyclops, he plays Cyclops.
he was Cyclops in the newer X-Men cast. But I just really, and I don't have backups, but I think he's just like a quintessential young. I think he's in his he's like 21 or something like that, so he could definitely play the part.
And the guys when they were young too, but they were older.
The Brat Pack. They were definitely. I know for sure. Like Judd Nelson wasn't like a teenager. Like he had to be like approaching 30.
Well, because St. Elmo's Fire came out the same year, didn't it, as The Breakfast Club? I think
85. Yeah, that sounds right.
And in that movie, they all played kids that had somewhat recently graduated from college.
Yeah. So, right. So they could either one. They were very believable. Even as Bender, like I wasn't like thinking I was watching like an adult in high school situation. So that's my Emilio Estevez character. Now for Anthony Michael Hall, this one actually was a pretty easy choice for me.
Liam Neeson.
He has a very particular set of skills.
He's Irish and old.
Irish guy is going to, of course, play a wiry, nerdy teenager. No, I went with Jack Dylan Grazer.
Is that the kid that was in Shazam?
It is indeed
okay.
the kid who was in Shazam. He was also in It.
I like that.
And
I like that.
He in It, he was like that kind of precocious,
Yeah.
nerdy kid.
Neurotic.
But I feel like, especially, like, I was getting strong Anthony Michael Hall vibes with him in
could see that.
Shazam. Very kind of twitchy.
Yeah.
Not cool, but like great sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like, to me, those two kids, and he's for sure capable of playing
yeah.
that. Like, Anthony Michael Hall, even though he had been in a bunch of stuff up to that point, like he was in Vacation, I guess a couple of years before that, he looked so much like a kid. He was very baby-faced in that role.
Yeah.
And I could see, Jack Dylan Grazer and I love that cast from It. I just thought they were amazing actors as young kids.
Those are, I think in that movie they really collected some of the best young actors that exist today.
Yeah. Okay. So for the Judd Nelson character,
John Bender.
Bender was really hard, man. I'll tell you who I was. My choice was Timothy Chalamet.
Okay.
Who was just recently nominated for an award with what was that movie called?
If you hadn't asked me what it,
crap. I
was,
recognize him
2018,
most from Interstellar. Like, he played like the 15-year-old version of I think his name was Tom in that movie, and he's been in some other stuff too. But you just like look at his facial structure, and he has this kind of. He has those eyes. Like, you got to get those, like, Judd Nelson eyes. And I'm looking at, there's a ton of, young actors, but they don't have that look. They don't have that 1,000-yard stare as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get that look as a actual young person, which is why, like, I believe that Judd Nelson was older. Because, you have more experience. Like, you just know things. There's something going on behind your eyes.
He's lived a lot of life. He's been a lot of places that not a lot of other people have been.
Let me pull up IMDb real quick.
Timothy Chalamet, he was in. I wish I could remember on the top of my head now. I'm trying to think what it was. It was came out last November with Steve Carell, where he played his. It was based on a true story.
The Boy. What was it?
I can't remember it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was a great movie.
So Call Me by My Name, or Call Me by, was it?
Call Me by, yeah.
Yeah, that was the one where he got like a lot of attention.
That was up for an Academy Award.
Big. But yeah, just like look at his eyes.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm gonna throw up pictures of like actors in the video, so you'll kind of get a look for each one of these.
My face.
I mean, it's a good looking kid, man. But yeah, so he was in Call Me by. Beautiful Boy. That was the movie you're thinking of, which you actually came to me like, I like this movie. That's a pretty good movie.
Great movie.
But yeah, Call Me by Your Name, and let's see, some stuff I'm not really familiar with, but Interstellar, there was something about him in that movie, and I didn't even know who he was at that time. Because he had to play the Casey Affleck teenage version of him, and I thought he was excellent. And Interstellar is like one of my favorite movies anyway. Like, I really dig the hell out of that movie. So another name that I nearly picked. Well, first let me tell you that Ty Sheridan was my choice for Bender at first. Because I thought, well, this guy's got the range. I'd like to see him in a not, like John Cusack type role where he's like just all-American, like good kid.
Yep.
It would be interesting to see what he would do with like that type of character. But the other actor I was going to go with, and this is because of something that I saw last night. Have you seen that Netflix movie, The Dirt, about Motley Crue?
Oh, no.
There's an actor who played Nikki Sixx in that movie, and his name's Douglas Booth, and he was awesome in that movie.
Sounds familiar.
It's kind of a trashy movie, really, but that's kind of the point, too, because it's a movie about Motley Crue.
We're such an upstanding group of young citizens.
I know. But, I really liked him in that role, and he almost convinced me to plug him into that spot. But I want to see Timothy Chalamet in that role. I want to see what he can do.
Like that.
Mainly because of his eyes. I feel like there's just a lot of raw. Like Nick Cage, Nick Cage also has those eyes. So, anyway. So, let's move on to Claire. The Molly Ringwald character.
Girl's name.
Claire. So Sophia Lilly is who I went with. And I know
Why
you're
do I
probably
know
not
that?
familiar with that name. So she was in It.
Oh, okay.
You know, she of course played Beverly.
Yeah.
So part of it is because she's kind of got the redheaded thing going on, but there with Beverly, you know, again, there's kind of this like dual personality, like the scenes with the chubby kid who she was
Ben
friendly
Hanscom?
with him. Yeah, she was friendly with him. She's very charming and cute. I could kind of see some Molly Ringwald in that, but also Molly Ringwald can give you that like face, that like kind of snooty, like, you know, there's a lot of things going on with Molly Ringwald, and this is a young actor who I think could give her a run for her money in that situation.
Yeah.
I would really like to see her in some other stuff too, because I was just charmed. I mean, I don't want to say she charms the pants off of me because she's a teenager. I think.
That would probably be inappropriate.
But she really charmed me a lot. And I see here she's actually going to play Nancy Drew in an upcoming Nancy Drew movie. So, you know, once again, I'll pull up some imagery, but I mean, she looks like a little Molly Ringwald.
She in her, I mean, I would say probably her quintessential role thus far being in It.
Yeah.
She had an interesting dynamic to her character because with her dad, who is a very ominous, creepy character,
To say the least.
she played very young. In those instances, there was a very, I mean, she was
Very
a
vulnerable.
child. She was
Yeah,
vulnerable. She was immature. But then when she was with the rest of the other kids,
She was
a very mature leader. You know, so there was, I mean, it takes some doing to be able to switch between being the same character in the same space.
That's no accident.
And, no, to be able to go
I
back and forth,
really
yeah.
enjoy her. I like to see. I get a like. I look at her and I enjoy her like the same way I really enjoyed Emma Stone when she was first coming up. And you know, of course, she's ascended to like be a huge star now.
Yep.
So I want to see her have a similar, you know, arc. And like, you know, you cast her in a Breakfast Club. It's tricky because Molly Ringwald was the sweetheart of the 80s.
Yeah, she was.
So you could possibly, I mean, Molly Ringwald was certainly typecasted.
Yes.
You know, nobody wanted to have anything to do with her when she was not a teenager anymore.
Yep.
So I don't know. I would just like to see her in that role. Now for Ali Sheedy, it's funny that you mentioned Zendaya before because Zendaya could be at the Ali Sheedy character.
Absolutely.
And you know, by the way, Allison, nobody ever calls her like Allison near the end of the movie. Like I just was looking at it and it's like, Allison? That doesn't make sense. But Zendaya, her character in Homecoming, that kind of aloof, you know, loner type. Yeah, like, oh my God. Strong Ali Sheedy vibes for me. And she too is just like another like up and comer. I mean, she's got a bright future.
Yeah.
And you know, the Ali Sheedy character is kind of a thankless character, really. You know, but she could play that and do it just fine.
Well, because there's, I mean, in Breakfast Club, I mean, there's a pretty considerable transformation, not just physically, but you know, it's one of those things where when you think about the dynamic that they're trying to really, you know, go after, you have all of these stereotypes.
Yeah.
Especially in 80s films. I mean, they're still prevalent in movies today. It's not like those roles have gone away.
John Hughes movies.
But John Hughes
was all about the archetypes.
The 80s, and people could move around within the scope of that character, but really there wasn't a lot. It was kind of like if you were the nerd, you're the nerd.
Yeah.
If you're the jock, you're the jock. And to have these roles crossing over, because that was what it was saying, is like this is how the class structure within the high school setting really is. The jocks hang out, the popular kids hang out, the nerds hang out, and there's not a lot of intermingling. But this group of kids who is representative of that, you know, just being forced to spend time around each other, found by the end of the day that, you know, these lines are arbitrary. And especially for Ali Sheedy, it's like she went from this outcast, you know, she like the ugly duckling. By the end of the movie, she's had a makeover.
She hooked up with the jock.
And she hooks up with the jock.
Yeah.
So it was, I mean, when you think about the framework with which the movie is really, you know, kind of somewhat burdened, you know, she breaks that stereotype the most. And in a lot of ways, I think it's overlooked, but I think there's a lot of meaning to that within the framework of the movie.
Yeah. And, you know, like the only thing that like might be like, Ali Sheedy looked very frumpy. Like,
yes.
Like she can be pretty. Zendaya is like a beautiful young actress. So like, it's hard to make her look frumpy.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I really dig her style and like the attitude she can bring. So, of course, that's going to bring us down to the other two big characters. This was hard. So, I guess I'm going to go ahead and go with Principal Vernon.
Good, you're saving the best for last, the janitor.
I'm saving the best for last.
I was hoping you would.
This is going to be a very controversial pick, I'm sure. But, I mean, Paul Gleason...
It's a hard one to top.
He's a hard one to top. And I'm afraid I would have to go against the grain a little bit and change up the character a little. I wanted to pick an actor who is for sure much more mature nowadays, and he's not famous for being mature, but he is older now, and he interacts with young people still very well. And I chose Seth Rogen.
Ah, interesting.
I chose Seth Rogen, which is instantly going to have a bit more of a humorous slant to the dynamic, I think. But I would like to see, and here's the thing that convinced me the most. Have you seen Observe and Report?
I have.
He doesn't always play Seth Rogen. He can play a hard, not likable guy. Yes. And he, and even at certain parts of the movie, I couldn't help but like him because he's just so, dialed in and zoned into what he's so focused, and you want him to yes. You want him to achieve his goals of being a cop.
He's Paul Blart on speed.
Don't you dare compare Paul Blart to that character, man.
Paul Blart is...
He did not ride a Segway that I know of. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Off camera, yes, all the time.
Around the set.
I used to ride with him.
Did you know?
Yes, in spirit.
But it's a bit controversial, but I think Seth Rogen has the quick chops, and I would like to see what type of ad-libbing he could do with the other younger actors. I think there could be some really seriously funny moments between them.
Well, I mean, because Paul Gleason, he plays that same. He was definitively typecast. He always played. He was in Die Hard.
Die Hard
as
is
the
same
douche,
guy. He was he was Principal Vernon.
And so Die Hard. It was, and the thing about it is it's a very stern role, but it's a comedic role essentially. At the end of the day, like when he's trying to drag the periodicals thing over,
you got to have some comedic timing to sell that for sure.
And so it's a very comedic role, and it was like, oh, Seth Rogen, but he's been. I genuinely enjoyed Seth Rogen in 50-50 with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, he could be a dramatic actor.
I used to really not care for Seth Rogen.
I know.
And
I'm familiar with your...
He has grown on me.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't... I probably give him too much credit in some things, but he is really... he's had some moments that are really meaningful, and I've enjoyed him in those. He plays a funny stoner kid pretty easily, because he's a funny stoner kid.
Yes.
But he can be stretched.
I think so. I think he's a really talented guy. I think, I feel like people might get the wrong impression about him, but the reason Seth Rogen has lasted as long as he has is because he's a talented writer.
Yeah.
He picks good projects.
Yep.
And, he stayed the test of time. I don't think Seth Rogen's going anywhere anytime soon. So that, of course, leaves the janitor, the good old Carl.
I am the eyes and ears of this institution, my friend.
Charlie Day is my janitor.
That is a fantastic selection.
I think that he and Seth Rogen would have such a really good interactions with one another. I think Charlie Day is just like a really good everyman type actor.
That is a great choice.
Thank you. That was my. I was thinking like who can, because he only has a few lines.
He really does.
Just that scene with Principal Vernon where they're kind of calling each other's bullshit, especially him to Principal Vernon. He really there's that history between them, and I'm a janitor, but I see things differently.
Things.
I know things, and I could see Charlie Day, being on the mental level of in between. He could still be with the kids, and the kids I'm sure they give him a lot of crap in his day-to-day life, but I think there's, especially Bender, there's a respect for that character, and I would really just love to see Charlie Day do something like that.
I could in my head I'm picturing Charlie Day going back to the janitor's closet, where he's got a cot, and then just up on the wall, kind of similar to the end of Game Night when they go to the basement. There's just stuff that he's raveled, taken out of garbage throughout the schools, like notes that would be really embarrassing for kids. He's like just got this wall of blackmail if anybody wants to give him crap, and just Charlie Day just sitting there staring at his handiwork.
Yes, I could see it. Now, I did also consider one other Principal Vernon, Jason Bateman.
Oh, that would, yeah.
Yeah, that would have probably been a home run, but I wanted to go with Seth Rogen. I wanted to do something a little different.
Yeah.
I think I adore Jason Bateman, and you see movies like Bad Words?
Yes.
I think that's my favorite Jason Bateman movie.
He was fantastic in that movie.
He really was. So there's a hard edge to him. You never get anything over on him, and maybe that's the reason why I didn't go with Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman, you never get over anything on him.
No.
Principal Vernon, you kind of have to feel like everybody gets everything over on him in the end. Yeah, he's the guy who has the career, and he's making like whatever the salary was. Now it seems laughable when he's like bragging about his salary. But I don't know if Jason Bateman, in the end, I could see him doing it. But at the same time, I kind of can't.
Could you describe the ruckus, sir?
Yeah.
It's a great line. Such a great line.
So that was our initial.
Who played it better?
Yeah, who played it better?
That was fun. I liked that.
I dig it. That's going to be something that we're going to do from.
And I feel like I'm going to get some payback on the next time we do that. I feel like I don't know.
Toy Story, do it. No, but I mean, I gave you I felt kind of like cringy a bit too when I gave you Silence of the Lambs.
It was fun though. I really had to get the wheels turned. I was like, this is good.
I had to challenge you because I know how seriously you would take it.
Yes.
So anyway, that was a good time.
Yes.
So that moves us into the main topic, which
main event.
The main event. Although our initial topic, an hour long.
Sorry. Well, we had some.
Yeah, we had some like banter going on there a little bit.
We love to banter.
But yeah, the main event is the movies that we're most looking forward to for the summer, basically.
Yes.
June through August.
July, and August.
And we're each going to pick 5 movies. You don't know my 5. I don't know yours. So I had to pick a couple of extras just in case we had some overlap.
I have my honorable mentions.
Yeah, and we can definitely do our honorable mentions. And I'm sure, I know that a good number of these are going to overlap, but...
oh, do you now?
I have a feeling because it's summertime and we have similar tastes. But I guess I'll lead off since you led off the last time. So once again, these are movies being released between June and August. Your summertime movies.
What before we get started? Because I've ranked them.
Yep.
And I have them by date. So is there a format you want to do, or do we just roll the dice and just?
I organize mine by date, release date. So let's go that way.
Do that.
If you don't mind.
Then I'm good with that.
Okay. All right. So my first movie, and it's kind of like, really? Okay, whatever. The Secret Life of Pets 2.
I don't have that on my list.
It's not on your list?
No,
yeah, I mean, it is a movie that I'm looking forward to because I think it's going to be a real kid-friendly, like kid-pleasing movie. Yep. And I'm very excited to see Patton Oswalt get like kind of a leading role. He's a very talented voice actor, I think. Doesn't get a lot of credit for that necessarily. No. So I'm excited to see what he does with that role. But he's, there's a ton of people. Like Kevin Hart, obviously, is the rabbit. And, you got like people like Jenny, what's her name? The tiny voice who was in.
Oh, Jenny Slate.
Jenny Slate, just tons and tons of people.
Tiffany Haddish is joining the cast.
Tiffany Haddish, she's probably a sassy character.
I would assume there is a good amount of sass. I think you're going on a good limb there. It's
funny because I was kind of looking forward to the first one, and Max was voiced by
Louis C.K.,
who shall not be named, I guess, whatever.
Whoops.
But I was disappointed with Louis C.K. in that.
Yeah, it didn't translate well.
No, it didn't. It was like, what's the point in getting a Louis C.K. in your movie? And I know it's a children's film, and I don't expect him to be like, doing jerk-off jokes or anything in it, but...
That would not have gone over well.
Very inappropriate. Very inappropriate. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
there's that tongue-in-cheek where it's like you cater to the kids, but you cater to the adults as well. You could write those duplicitous kind of jokes.
And he was a very, famous as material. He would use his kids a lot. Like, when he's talking about his kids and he's talking about, that's not really dirty at all.
No.
So, there's really funny, cleanish... Yeah, very much so, I thought. So it breaks my heart that whatever happened. But Patton Oswalt. Now, what if something comes out on Patton Oswalt bad? This could be like a cursed role.
Then everyone's screwed because he does so many different things. Just voiceovers. Like if Patton Oswalt was, no, he's just.
And he's done tons of stuff, but like, what is? Can you name to me what his like defining voice talent? He's in all kinds of stuff.
He is in all kinds of stuff.
I've heard him in like My Little Ponies. I've heard him. That's right. I watched My Little Ponies.
I own My Little Ponies. There's a song that I listened to from the soundtrack. It's Time to Be Awesome. That's a great song.
I believe you. I'm gonna look that up on Spotify.
It's a great song.
Spotify, you want to sponsor us?
Yeah.
We don't have any sponsors.
We have no sponsors.
We'll give you a good
We
deal.
have a delicatessen.
Good old
But
Jerry.
That he pays us in sliced meats.
He in sliced meats. That's all, and he sends them, and they're by the time they get here,
yeah,
that's so fresh.
Yeah,
it's like he's never sent anybody a sandwich.
It's not an appropriate package, and he pays for the you get it a week later. A week.
And he puts little photocopied pictures of Sandra Bullock inside as I'm thinking of you.
He's trying to get us to watch a lot of Sandy Bullock movies.
His recommendations.
Every recommendation. 2 If by Sea? No, I saw it like 30 years ago. Her and Dennis Leary? No. I don't need to watch it again.
Wait a minute. There was a Sandra Bullock, Dennis Leary movie?
Yes.
Woof. I dodged a bullet there.
I did not. I watched it as a child. I was a youth.
A ute.
A ute.
But yeah, so Secret Life of Pets. Now, the thing that I worry about a little bit, it's like they've been really pushing tons of trailers out for this thing.
Yes.
Like, every time I go see a movie in theaters, there's this 3-minute long section of the movie they're just giving you for free, and they're doing it for all the characters. So I probably actually have already seen a good 12 to 13 minutes of the movie.
There's a lot of material out there.
And it's an animated movie, and an expensive animated movie. It's not like they're going to not show that in the actual movie. They're not spending that kind of money on just teasers and not use it. So, but in the end, I don't care. I think it'll be a fun movie. I actually think it looks funnier than the first one did. And, the first one was okay, but I think Kevin Hart's character is going to be a little less annoying this time around. And, and a lot of times, too, when there's a sequel, especially an animated film, they build on their own universe.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting something good. And that's my first movie. That comes out June 7th.
Ah! No!
I have nothing in June. Nothing in June made my
kind of
list.
a dead zone.
There's movies,
several June movies actually.
I just July and August.
No overlap, maybe at all.
There may not be because I think I know at least one more of yours that's one of my honorable mentions. I know it just off the top of my head. This one, my first one probably made your list.
Okay.
And it wasn't hard for me to put this as my number one, but my number two, just as a teaser for my number two, I'm really, really, really looking forward to. But my number one, I have too much invested in him for it to be anywhere other than this. So it's my number one movie that I'm looking forward to, and it comes out the soonest, Spider-Man: Far From Home. Okay.
It's the first movie I had listed in case you picked one of my movies.
Okay.
So yes, absolutely, 100%. It's the first movie after Endgame. So anxious to see how are we
because there was a pretty not to give any spoilers away, but with Endgame
let's definitely not spoil
everyone
anything.
assumes that at some point you're going to have characters that are returning, and the coming back, to me, as emotionally draining as it was for Tom Holland to flutter away into the dust, to have him come.
Tony, I don't feel good. What's happening? I don't want to die.
Every time I watch that, I lose it.
Yeah,
I just do. Spider-Man is so near to, and he played it so well.
Yes.
So him coming back was very emotional for me, and I was very happy about that. And I don't feel like that's spoiling anything. I think everyone knew that characters were going to come back. If that spoils something,
the Tony Stark Spider-Man reunion in Endgame was beautiful. I liked it a lot.
But yeah, this is the first one in the after Endgame. This is the last Marvel movie for the year. They've mapped out some of the projects that Marvel has coming in the future, but we really don't right now. We don't have a roadmap.
We don't have a November release,
No,
which
and-
we've had for the last several years.
And I mean, Guardians is set to start shooting next year.
2020, yeah.
They've-
Shooting in 2020.
Yeah. So, and we've talked about there's going to be a Doctor Strange 2. I don't know what's on the docket for.
We
for
may have a
2020.
bit of a dry spell for Marvel movies.
I don't know if there's any Marvel movies that are slated to come out in 2020. I don't know that they're filming any right now.
I don't know
that
of
I'm
any.
aware of. So
I mean, we have the same news feeds. I'm sure we're
Yeah.
following. And yeah, just now, like you got news that Guardians 3
Yeah.
is filming in 2020.
yeah,
So yeah, you might need to savor this one. It could be a while before we get another one.
and it'll. I mean, there's there Mysterio. Jake Gyllenhaal is joining the MCU as Mysterio.
Yeah.
Very excited about that. There could be some different directions that they're taking that character, Quentin Beck. There's been some talk that they're going to be an Elementals movie, which that's been a lot of the hubbub, the scuttlebutt, if you will.
Yes.
That was just a way for me to say "butt" in our podcast.
Yes, very clever.
Scuttlebutt.
Just worked it right in there. Nobody even
No
noticed.
one even noticed. I snuck it right in there. I said, butt. Classic. But the Elementals are assumed to be potentially the
Yeah,
villains.
because you kind of see
Yeah.
not there's not like this long establishing shot
Yeah.
on them, but what is all of that? I mean,
Yeah.
it's got to be right. So
because I don't believe they have the rights to Hydro Man. They've already done Sandman, so they have characters that seem similar, but everyone's assuming that they're the Elementals. So there's a lot, and you're going to have the first time Nick Fury is going to interact with
yeah,
Spider-Man. So there's a number of costume changes. He's got a black costume. He's got a few different costumes.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's got a few different costumes.
Very cool.
So I'm
Happy
very,
should be back, right? I mean,
Yep.
we'll get some Happy.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see the dynamics. It'll be interesting to see how the world as a whole works post Endgame. It'll be interesting to see how the characters interact. From the trailers and from the tease at the end of Homecoming, Aunt May is aware that
Exactly. Yeah.
That-
What the? Yeah.
yeah, you get that last. So this is the first time within a cinematic universe on film we're seeing where Aunt May is aware that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So
So we know that Nick Fury is in this movie. Do you think there'll be any surprise Marvel cameos in there?
I'm hoping we get some, because there's a number of Disney Plus shows that are coming out this November when Disney Plus launches that are based on MCU characters with MCU actors playing them.
I guess that'll be our Marvel, fix
I
for
think
a while.
that'll probably sustain life,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering if there's going to be.
Sustain life.
Yeah, it's like outside of that, I'm like, I don't know what else I do.
My comic book sustenance.
It's like,
I gotta survive on DC for a whole year.
Oh, I would hang myself first. No, that wouldn't happen.
Now, do you? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah,
No,
you
no,
were saying.
No, I'm very curious to see, what direction I anticipate a great movie, a great story, great characters, all the things that we've come to know from Marvel, and especially at this point, I loved, I enjoyed Tobey Maguire. At the time, I loved him because I had no other frame of reference.
Yeah.
Since then, I know some people really didn't care for Andrew Garfield. I enjoyed Andrew Garfield significantly. I thought the chemistry between him and Emma Stone really, I think they just, and I thought Mark Webb did a good job directing those two. I think there was some unfortunate studio influence to try and get more characters.
It
were
was
trying to
like
build
they
a
fell back
universe.
on the old '90s
Yeah.
problems of
They-
the more the merrier. It's
And I was
no,
like,
it's
no,
not.
don't stuff it full of villains. Don't try and set up a universe. You're just the second film of your franchise, and you're going to make a Sinister Six movie. It's like, don't do that.
Do you think that we'll get some Pepper Potts and Happy, and they'll kind of take on like a parental type?
I can see that.
I
could
would
see that.
really enjoy that.
I would see that.
Just because Nick Fury is going to be in this, I want to see a continued relationship with the Starks.
Yes.
I think that would be really cool. I think
Yep.
that, Tony would definitely impress upon Pepper that, he's a special kid and means a lot to him.
Yeah.
So I would like to see that if I'm thinking cameo type stuff.
Yep.
Maybe a scene or two with her. And I hope to get some sort of tease for the Vulture in a future Spider-Man movie.
Oh, and we left at the end of Homecoming with Scorpion as well, Matt Gargan.
So he's gonna be in it
so
too, right?
There's you'd assume, and really too. I mean, like when one of the things they're not actively doing, but knowing some of the behind the scenes of the Spider-Man universe, if you have Vulture and you have Scorpion and you have Mysterio, you got three
of the Sinister Six.
Yeah, you got three characters there that join. You get Doc Ock
would
Sandman. There's been a number of characters, but like those guys coming together. If you've already got three established characters from the Sinister Six in this universe, it'll be interesting to see what they have in store for. I think they're on the hook for at least one more Spider-Man.
One more, yeah. That's what I was going to say. We know there's one more. They would have to rush it a little bit.
They would have to rush a little bit.
If there were two more, I would say, okay, yeah, we could establish three. Maybe in the next movie, maybe another three.
It'll be interesting because we already know it's on the hook. If they'll, and Marvel's pretty capable about putting together ensemble pieces. If they
good point. Yeah, they could show up in another movie
if they do it well. And by this point, we have three of the villains already established. It would still feel a little bit rushed, but at this point, 22 movies into the MCU, they're if they're known for anything, it's being able to put together a big cast of characters and do it well. So I'm very eager for Far From Home.
Hopefully Sony will be wise and they will continue their partnership.
I would.
Because we need Spider-Man in this universe.
We need Spider-Man.
Yeah. Now, the Miles Morales character they would own too, right? All that stuff.
And they teased that in Homecoming.
Oh yeah, they did.
Because Donald Glover,
of his uncle,
Donald Glover is his uncle,
right.
So you've got the possibility to say, okay, Miles Morales, in some respect, exists in the MCU, just not as a defined person or character.
Not just yet, right?
There's a lot for them to build on. So
Spider-Man: Far From Home, it's going to be a hit. It's going to be a home run, right around 4th of July, right?
Yep.
July 5th. So
July 5th.
Everybody's going to go see that.
Yep.
And it kind of has that like Ant-Man and Wasp role to play where it's going to be fun. It's not going to be too heavy, I don't think.
No, it'll be good.
It'll be what we needed to cleanse the palate a bit. So yeah, that's a good, obviously I'm interested in seeing that too.
Nick Fury's calling you.
I don't really want to talk to Nick
Answer
Fury.
the phone.
Why?
Because if you don't talk to him, then I have to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him. You sent Nick Fury to voicemail?
I gotta go.
You do not ghost Nick Fury.
All right, so for my second movie, I picked The Dead Don't Die.
That's on my honorable mentions.
Yeah, which is coming out June 14th, and that is Adam Driver and Bill Murray playing small town zombie, like cop zombie killers.
Yes.
Holy shit, sign me up.
Yes.
I can't believe I haven't seen the trailer until just recently.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It looks so good.
Well, it came out on April 1st, and everyone thought, until like there was on April 2nd when they were like, no, this is for real a movie, everyone thought, this is just a April Fool's prank.
This just like, and it's directed by the guy who did Broken Flowers, and I think he's done some other Murray things.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have he's gonna have his finger on that pulse. It's like not a Wes Anderson, but
it looks very Wes Anderson.
Yes, it kind of does. So, but I was also getting like strong Zombieland vibes.
Yes.
Which of course, Bill Murray is that connection there too. He seems to like be very willing to have fun and be silly in a zombie apocalypse like type. But the scene where he's like, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I'm thinking zombie." This looks so good.
It really is.
It's not going to be a big movie. It's got some stuff going up against it that it's going to be a bigger fare. But I don't care. I'm going to see that movie the first week it's out because I doubt it'll be out for more than a week or two.
No, I think on one of the websites I look at to see releases, it was classified as a limited. It's one of those. Like I think it'll be. I
actually hope somebody like Netflix would purchase it.
It would be fantastic.
Yeah,
because it's gonna be funny.
It's gonna be so amazing. Check out that trailer. We're not watching trailers like we did before. I actually synced up everything, but whatever. I guess we'll do that. Hey, no copyright strikes.
Hey.
Yeah, that is a trailer that I would like watching right now because
we could just pause here for like 2 minutes and
and that was a hilarious trailer. Holy crap, I'm pumped. Cannot wait to see The Dead Don't Die. it's just, you know, like a Sam Raimi type feel. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it just a bunch of people who just think it'd be fun to be in a zombie type movie, and they're just so playing with it. It's such a parody, but it's not a parody at all.
Yeah.
You know, they're just everybody rolls with it.
I think
so hilarious.
I think there's a real art to the zombie movie that has, you know, because it's a dark comedy, but like Shaun of the Dead and
Oh, I love dark
Zombieland.
comedies. That's a perfect world for dark comedies
Yeah,
to play in.
it's one of those like because I recently watched Black Summer, the first episode of Black Summer on Netflix.
I haven't seen that.
It's got kind of a 28 Days Later kind of feel to it. It's zombies, and I made it through the first episode. And I was just like, this is it was just disjointed, and I didn't care.
Oh,
it was just, it was when I was like,
so it's not a recommend.
I think some people have enjoyed it, and I used to be huge. I mean, I was so invested in zombie movies, zombie culture. But it just it inundated everything.
It kind of is,
video games, TV shows, movies, everything. I mean, you just got to a point where it's like everywhere you looked was zombies, and
the zombie phenomenon is going to go down soon. I think Walking Dead is not as popular as it was, and you know you're not getting zombie movies left and right necessarily. Like I feel like if there is a zombie movie, it's with like a twist.
Yeah, there's always some kind of like okay, a zombie movie in and of itself is not good enough. Because I mean, you got are they the slow zombies? Are they the fast zombies?
Yeah, are they
become zombies?
undead or are they just infected? You know, you could really play a lot into. A lot of zombie movies could also just be classified as like plague movies.
Yeah,
you know, really.
And they were gonna do World War Z too, but they've scrapped that.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
I mean, even though that movie wasn't as bad as I love the book, man. I've read the book 2 or 3 times, and it's so damn good. And you know, it ain't the book.
That was the problem was if you went at it and made it just its own franchise, I think it probably would have fared better in my estimation. If you just said we're making a zombie movie with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, you settled yourself with Brad, and I like Brad Pitt fine, I guess, but and he wasn't bad in it, and it was an okay movie. Like it was surprisingly good.
I think really what detracted from it was I think people they hear World War Z. And that was kind of a cult phenomenon, the book, and people went to go see the movie. Like this is not anything like. I mean, this is not even close to the book.
It makes sense though because it was a cult favorite, but not a lot of like it's not a household name by any stretch, and you got to lure people in a little bit. Like you get the name to get the diehards in and have people start talking about the movie. But when you actually land the movie, it's like okay, we're going to give you an entertaining zombie movie, so it's kind of like a compromise.
Yeah.
And like there were mentions of things in the movie that were like, oh, okay, that's what they called the zombies. All right, whatever. But anyway, as far as The Dead Don't Die, a hell of an entertaining movie. Like a Coen Brothers vibe too. There's just like this so much style.
Yeah, there's a very it's an offbeat kind of feel to it. It still has, it has a dark and semi scary tone to it. It's not just like, oh, this is a total joke.
Don't take your kids to it.
It definitely has that offbeat note to it, which I just kind of appreciate. It's you got a lot of these big summer movies. You got a lot of big studio. Flash and glitz and glamour.
There's a lot of tentpole movies.
Yeah, a lot of those, and there's a lot of that coming out this summer. So to have something that's a little bit off the beaten path, and these are the kind of movies I love Adam Driver in. He really, to me, that's because
it's like Logan Lucky. He's kind of like
great in that.
Yeah, he's capable. Like I enjoy him more and more and more. Loved him in like Black Klansman. He was great pretty awesome in that. So, it's a movie that I'm pretty stoked about. When I saw it, I just couldn't, my mind was blown. Like,
it was great.
This is me all over, man.
Yep.
They gravitate towards things they did when they were alive.
Coffee.
Chardonnay. Did she just say Chardonnay?
Yeah, she did.
Okay, so what's your number 2?
Number two. All right, going by date order.
Going by date.
All right, this one comes
get people
out.
excited.
This is one I was unaware of until I started making this list. I was aware of movies that were coming out over the summer.
That's kind of the fun thing about doing this topic too, because I see trailers that I had never even thought about.
This is one, and it's a stupid comedy.
Okay.
But it looks so good, and it has an actor in it that I desperately want to see more and more and more of.
Okay.
It's called Stuber.
I've never heard of this.
It's got Dave Bautista and Kumail.
Oh yes,
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yes, I have. Yes,
And
I have.
It, it looks absolutely fantastic.
Uber. He's an Uber
Yes,
driver.
his name is Stu, and he's an Uber driver. And it to me it has the feel of like a game night or a fist fight, where it's one of those where it's like just kind of sleeper comedies, but it feels like if it hits well, it will just be like, okay, we knew we were gonna make, we put a $30 million budget in this. We figured we'll make maybe 10, 20, 30 million off of it. It'd just be one of those throwaway comedies that comes out around when all the big stuff's coming out. But I hope that it does well, because I love Kumail Nanjiani.
I still need to see The Big Sick.
It is
like a movie that I haven't seen.
It is a great movie, and I love him.
I do too. I think he's
hilarious.
really, really funny. And like when I started watching that trailer, and at first I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And I was really up and down with the trailer, because you're like, okay, here's Dave Bautista, and if you enjoy Drax, he's kind of being Drax.
He's very Drax in this.
He's very, very Drax, and and I'm like, kind of sort of formulaic, and I'm like, yeah, this will be funny. But there was a sequence at the end of the trailer that I laughed so hard. It's like where the guy, he throws the gun at the guy, the
bad guy,
the mugger or whatever. He catches it and then shoots, throws it back. He tries to catch it, hits him in the face. But I just loved the pacing of it. It was really funny.
It was really good.
So if there's more of that, and that's kind of that game night sort of pace. If it's mostly that and not so much the here's Drax. You love Drax, right? And I love him in that. But seeing Drax without all the makeup and just Dave Bautista, I like Dave Bautista in dramatic roles, which is why I think Drax is so effective, because he is saying just hilarious, inappropriate stuff all the time. To see him in an actual comedy, I'm iffy on, but I do want to see that. I think that looks like it's going to be a good dumb comedy that'll fit the bill.
I think.
When is that coming out again?
It comes out July 12th.
Okay.
With Kumail Nanjiani, what I like about his comedy, and I would highly recommend, he has a comedy album, Beta Male. It is fantastic. I've listened to it a number of times. He has just there is a biting sarcasm. He plays the very incapable, neurotic kind of guy. He plays that very well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he has this sarcastic confidence to his.
Yeah, I like that there's a timidness, but he's not a pushover.
Yeah.
He can defend himself with his wit.
Yeah.
And I think I love any character that can do that.
I think that's the thing, because it's almost like that's even in the trailer. I got this kind of push and pull. Dave Bautista has this really, intimidating physical presence on screen. He's very loud. He's very direct.
He's just a large man.
Yes, and Kumail is not. He's a very small Pakistani guy,
Right.
and he's very timid, very frantic. But then you have these scenes where it's it kind of shifts, and he's almost crazier than Dave Bautista. It's like, here, I'm gonna throw the propane tank out, and you're gonna shoot it. It's like, that's
I love
Jaws.
that part too. That was pretty good.
It was so great, because you have these kind of back and forth where you have these role reversals, and it to me it tracked very well. When I watched the trailer for it, I was like, okay, I am genuinely excited about this, and I would like to see this right now.
Oh, I am not touching that.
It's a baby gun. It allows you to fire it while crying.
You shot me!
You got shot in the leg. Good for you, man. You shot your first guy.
My third pick is
Moreau Trace.
Oh, Spanish.
What?
It's my favorite moment on the podcast so far. So this movie, when I saw the poster, I go, okay, I'm down for this movie, I guess. When I started watching the trailer, I was like, oh crap, this is like a Conjuring movie, actually. And it's the Annabelle Comes Home, June 28th. Actually has the Warrens in it.
Yes.
And
Wilson.
yes. And
Vera Farmiga.
Yeah, thank you. The Annabelle character kind of kicked off the Conjuring franchise, because it was the first part of the first movie. And those Annabelle movies, I liked the first one when it got its original movie. think some people were like iffy on it. Then the sequel came out. You were like, that's actually
it's
pretty
way
good.
better.
And I agree. I liked it, and I really enjoy how that Wannaverse, like they kind of play into each other, these movies. So that it makes sense that you bring the Warrens in, and it's kind of like Civil War. It's Avengers 2.5. This feels like Conjuring 2.5.
Yep.
And I know they're doing a Conjuring 3.
They have a third one coming out.
It's coming out. So just if you watch the trailer, it hits all the right buttons. It's not a James Wan movie. I don't know what other movies this guy's directed, but it feels appropriate. The tone is right.
He's done a really great job in setting up the universe to where other capable people can come in and direct films and that he trusts with the properties.
Yeah, it's like, here are my rules. It's very scientific. I've got them. You can consult the rule binder if you're not sure about a shot, how the pacing should be, or how the framing should be. Like, you can consult my guide. These directors, even though they're not James Wan, sometimes you're like, is this a James Wan movie?
It because he produces
that's
on
it
everybody.
too.
But he's like a Kevin Feige, whereas like he's like, no, I don't need to direct everything. I don't need to have my hand in every single thing. You're capable. You guys know how to make a story. You guys know how to bring it to life. You guys know how to tie these, because that's the other part of it, is like when you have the Warrens in it, when you have Annabelle, you have all of these different parts of the universe. It's like, you have other people handling things that other people have already touched. It's like you could get territorial. You could get, you could undo stuff. Like, it's very continuous. There's, you don't have those interruptions in the story,
and the girl who plays their daughter, we saw her in The Conjuring 2. Like, there was a bit, so like she's going to play a larger role, it looks like, in this movie. And I just get tickled whenever they show that room.
With
that they have the priest come and like bless and all that, famous room.
It actually exists.
It actually exists, and it's sad. We actually lost Lorraine Warren just recently in real life. It's a movie that I would have had a bit of a passing interest in, because I thought the other two Annabelle movies were good, but the moment I saw that it felt mostly like a Conjuring movie, bringing back their star, their Chucky in a way. I was like, man, I'm all in for this. And the Conjuring movies have a history of showing up in the summertime. And it makes, in one sense, it makes all the sense in the world to do a scary movie in the October, period. But summertime is where you seem to get all your best scary movies. They land in the summertime because they're always big money makers. So why not?
Well, and I didn't stop to verify, but in the trailer, there's the part where the girl opens the door. And there's a little girl standing there. I think she's facing the wall, and she turns to look to her. And if I remember correctly, that's the same little girl from Annabelle.
The second one. The one who got ran over. I'm pretty sure it is too. I didn't confirm it either, but it's been such a short amount of time. I could see them actually getting that same little girl.
Honestly, when I first heard that they were making another Annabelle movie and that it was coming out this year, I was like, why have I not heard anything about this? And all
Me
of a sudden,
too.
it was like, we have another Annabelle movie. It's like, what?
I know, same. Like, I'm looking through movies coming out during the summer, and there's all those like usual suspects that we've known about for months and months. And I'm like, oh, there's an Annabelle movie coming out. Oh God, it's got like the Warrens in it. It's going to be huge.
How is this not? I mean, like, it really, for as much as things are on my radar of things that are in production, things they're talking about, like movies, they're like, we're thinking about making this movie. It's like, for this movie to just sneak up, it's like, hey, there's another Annabelle movie. It's like, what?
But that's awesome, because you don't even have to to that long to get
it's
it.
Like, oh, it's nearly here.
It's just around the corner. It's my third June pick, June 28th.
You're all about June, man.
I'm all about that June, man.
All about that June.
I let her out. Who? Annabelle. I'm sorry. What else did you touch? Everything.
I'm all about that June. No trouble.
I like that.
Okay, so what's your number 3, sir?
Number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'm already number 3. I'm already in August.
Wow.
I'm already in August.
Oh, I have a feeling you're going to take one of my movies.
This movie, like, I recently went through all 8 movies in the franchise, and
of course you're going to pick this movie.
These two guys are my favorite from the entire franchise. Hobbs and Shaw.
Dude, that last trailer that dropped
was just unbelievable.
I mean, I hate to be crass, but it's just, I'm gonna be a little crass. Do your parents watch this podcast?
I don't know. At this point, what hour are we in? I don't even know what hour.
I don't know. Watching that movie was just like you're getting a blowjob, and the girl just keeps sucking even after you orgasm. It's like it just keeps going and going and going. It's like, holy shit, this is so much. I'm so happy watching this trailer.
That was not where I was anticipating.
No, I know.
I enjoyed that ride. I enjoyed that ride right there.
I mean, right? Like it just keeps building and building and building. And it's just like, this movie's going to be amazing.
The franchise, having just gone through all 8 movies of the franchise, especially when you get to the Fate of the Furious, you're just kind of like, they don't even care anymore. They're just gonna nuclear sub, bring it in the mix.
Would you like to see that? We're gonna do that.
Like,
you want to see a Lamborghini like jump between like towers, like?
And it's one of like in the second movie, Ludacris owns a garage. Yeah. And in the 8th movie, he's hacking into government computers.
He's a master hacker.
And I'm just like, yeah, but for some reason, I don't care. I was like, these guys are great. These guys are fantastic.
I'm smiling ear to ear the whole time.
And when in the 5th installment, Fast 5, when they brought Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson into the mix, was an absolutely fantastic idea. I know he and Vin Diesel had seen creative differences.
It's now his franchise.
I think
I guess they're like spinning off so that Vin can maybe maintain some sort of control of the Fast and the Furious. So, but after watching that trailer, I almost felt kind of bad for the next Fast and the Furious movie. Because this just looks better than those movies.
When you got Idris Elba as the villain.
Oh my, it's Black Superman.
It's like, and then you got the dynamic of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and
Jason
Statham.
Who are just so good with coming out like playing off of one another.
They are perfect together. They are just an unbelievable dynamic.
They're 80s. They're like 80s. Action stars now, just playing off one another.
And it's
quips and puns,
so enjoyable,
and the stunts just look amazing.
And I think it's in the first. I think it's the first trailer that you get where you have this sequence where you have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I don't know why I keep saying his whole name,
just in case people are not sure.
Which Dwayne Johnson is he?
Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Oh, not Dwayne the Paper or the Scissors Johnson.
Dwayne the Paper Boy.
That was
Johnson.
A paper rock scissors. I did a paper rock scissors joke there.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Perfect.
So seamless.
It's good like that. But they have this whole sequence. I even appreciate the way they shot it, the color scheme that they did. Where he walks in, he's beating up all these guys, and he has the line, "I'm what you call an ice cold can of whoop ass." Yeah. And then you have Jason Statham. It was a contrast in the way they shot it, the colors, the whole thing. The same thing. He's just beating up a bunch of guys. It's like, I'm what you call a champagne problem. And it's just, you have these very competing.
That's pretty good Jason Statham right there.
I've loved Jason Statham ever since I saw him in Snatch. He's just fantastic.
Yeah.
But
he's always so angry.
He is like, it's like,
he's the most abrasive human being on the planet.
Take a day off, man.
Which is why I loved him in Spy with Melissa McCarthy.
He was very fun in Spy. And they're making a sequel to that, which I'm excited. He's
very good. Well. Very good.
But yeah, everything I love the characters in the Fast and the Furious franchise. They are so fantastic together. It's funny to me that you have in the 7th, 6th, or 7th, I can't remember. I think it's the 7th is when even having just watched them, they all bleed together.
They really do.
The 7th installment where Jason Statham, no, it's the 6th. The 6th, he's the villain. And the 7th, you start off and they're like, oh, you got to work with him. And they're like, no. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, no. And they're like, okay. And
actually, I think it was 7 where he was the villain, wasn't it?
He was,
because his brother was in the 6th. He was the villain.
Then maybe 8.
He was the younger Shaw or whatever.
Then it must have been 8 where they started like it
matters. Doesn't matter. Why am I even bothering to correct you on this mess?
He's the villain in one, and at the beginning of the next one, like, you got to work with him. We're like, no, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what? And then there's one sequence where like Dwayne The Rock Johnson is reading this thing about a paper. He's like, hey, you were a good soldier one time. He's like, yeah, I was. I was like, should we be friends? Like, yeah.
Why
okay.
not?
I was
Yeah,
like,
sure. Just like that. You know?
the last movie, you guys wanted to literally kill each other. Now
Yeah.
you're like, I just read this paper about you. And you're like,
You and Vin like crashed into each other, then got out of your cars, ripped pieces of metal from the cars you were just in that you crashed into each other, and attempted to kill each other with said pieces of metal.
I mean, it was like the Dave Matthews Band song "Come to Life." I mean, it just crashed.
I was like, "Where's this going?"
They just crashed into each other.
Because when I think mellow Dave Matthews, I think abrasive Jason Statham.
Vin Diesel, Jason Statham. That is what that song was written for. He just didn't know.
Oh God, now that makes sense.
It does. It comes together. Synergy.
Synergy.
But yeah, so Hobbs and Shaw, gonna be fantastic.
I mean, what else can be said about that movie? It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm happy they put it in August because it kind of anchors. You know, like you got all the big stuff coming out in like April, May, June, July, whatever. And August has over time just sort of become like a pretty good month of movies during the summer.
Yeah.
So, but you know, it's widening even further. You know. So, anyways, is that all we got to say about that?
That's what we got to say.
Good choice, my friend.
Pick a door.
All right then.
No, that's my door. Pick another door.
What's wrong with you? You know what? You were right. This is your door.
What's the matter? You got a lot of bad guys behind that door?
So my number 4 is Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, my only July movie. So July 26th. So we're going back a little bit because we don't know each other's lists.
Exactly.
But
Top secret.
I mean, I very much want to see a Quentin Tarantino movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. I think that would be interesting. I'm very interested in the time period. I know it's like the 70s, which is a sticking point for you. But Hollywood during this period, I mean, it's all set to the backdrop, I think, of the Charlie Manson murders of Tate. I think I originally thought that it was going to be mostly about that. But watching the trailers, I'm like, oh no, this is just like an old Hollywood type flick.
That was my only thing because it looks good. It looks clean.
Yeah.
It looks well done. Got a great cast. Like after watching the trailer, I was just like, I don't know what this movie's about.
I don't either, and I'm fine with that because I know what I'm going to get with the Quentin Tarantino movie. Leonardo DiCaprio has been doing the Martin Scorsese movies for so long. He fits right into that kind of R-rated, just dirty. He's just gritty guy. He can be gritty very easily now. So, and it does. It just has a phenomenal cast. I will be shocked if this movie just isn't great. And, I don't have a lot to talk about because, like you said, they're kind of hiding what this movie is about.
They give you enough to be tantalized.
Yeah.
Give you enough to where you're like, okay, there's something going on here. I don't know what it is, but it looks interesting. Looks like something I want to be a part of. They've got some great names in this that are really performing well.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Well, it's like the Scorsese movie that they got coming out with Pesci and De Niro, and I don't even know what that movie is. I know it's called The Irishman, but I'm sold because of the ingredients of what you're giving me. I mean, I love all these things, so it's got to be good, right?
Yeah. And
even a bad Tarantino movie is what's his? I guess when they did the Grindhouse movies, maybe those are considered his worst movies. I really enjoyed them still.
But the thing about Quentin Tarantino that I've always enjoyed is he does projects about things that he's passionate about.
Very true.
You don't come to Quentin Tarantino as hey, we got a fluff movie, we got a big studio picture, we'd love for you to direct the next Jurassic Park. It's no, Quentin Tarantino is going to do movies that Quentin Tarantino is interested in, and he has a way of correlating that to a large enough audience.
And he's a product of the 70s, so there's going to be an extra bit of attention to detail.
And he takes really obscure parts. I mean, with Grindhouse. I mean, that's a genre. I mean, you got a whole genre of filmmaking there that many people, especially in a very, mainstream public way, are not terrifically exposed to. The
Michael Parks, those kinds of characters.
He's very invested in kung fu movies.
Kind of brought Kurt Russell back from the depths. He was just not a thing anymore.
And I mean, he he can work. I mean, his dialogue is always really. I mean, it's really well put together.
I feel like it's almost subject to mockery nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's gonna go on and on about like some sort of pop culture. They're gonna stop the movie and have some sort of pop. But I mean, I don't care because I like that.
That's the thing about it. It's like because
I'll just not be cool. Is that fine?
Well, and I like his stuff. I mean, he has was Reservoir Dogs the first one that he's really responsible for.
Yeah.
I mean,
he'd written some stuff. I'm pretty sure.
I know he was involved with True Romance.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, like
Reservoir Dogs was his breakout film. For sure.
And then Pulp Fiction really put him on the map. But like he's kept at it. Like
yeah.
And I mean, I think that's the thing is like when you think about the kinds of movies that he's done with as huge of the cast as he has, it's like it's to be able to get great performances out of a handful of really good actors is impressive. But to manage the cast of a number of notable names with really just biting dialogue, even if it is, if you're going, just really hammering away at some pop culture thing, it's written really well.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing is like, he's a very conscientious, thoughtful writer. And I appreciate somebody who puts time and effort into the words they choose for dialogue.
I think what people are upset about with Quentin Tarantino is there was like a lot of Quentin Tarantino impersonators that spawned from all of his movies. So they're more sick, I think, with the Tarantino done poorly.
Yeah.
The more than they with actually him. But Quentin Tarantino, like when he has a new movie, it's an event. You can still count all of his movies like on both your hands.
This is his 9th one.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a big deal. He's going to get great performances. He's going to be passionate about it. I mean, he's just that kind of guy.
Yeah.
So if you're a movie nerd like we are, you just have to automatically kind of get behind the guy. And even though I'm not exactly 100% sure, I know that there's a Charlie Manson character they cast.
Yep.
So he's going to be floating around in there. But I'm so excited about it.
My hands are registered as lethal weapons. We get into a fight, I accidentally kill you. I go to jail.
Anybody accidentally kills anybody in a fight, they go to jail. It's called manslaughter.
That was my 4th, actually. What's your number 4?
All right, so number 4, let's see. All right, so if I'm going, all right, yes. I feel like this may be where we finally hit an overlap. And I think this would be the only overlap.
Okay.
This one comes out on August 9th.
No, we're not going to have overlap.
Oh, no overlap.
No overlap. Wow. First time ever, maybe.
Because there are a number of horror movies, scary movies that are coming out. And I have, because Annabelle's on my honorable mention. The Dead Don't Die is on my honorable mention.
Now, I've mentioned wanting to see the movie you're about to say.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Guillermo del Toro. He's not directing it. He's producing it.
He's producing it. But he's involved, and he's involved in a meaningful capacity. The trailers that I've seen, because the book back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Very popular book.
Very popular book.
Yeah.
Very meaningful to a large generation of people. And some very, especially given when the book came out, the age range that it was geared towards and the subject matter that it was covering was, it was not one of those ones where like PTAs had meetings where like, we got to burn this book, we got to get out of schools. Yeah. But it was one of those like, it got attention because it was like, these stories are really, I'll let my kid read it, but I'm still kind of like, these are disturbing stories.
The imagery from the trailer that I've seen from this, it's bringing those stories to friggin' life, dude. I mean, Guillermo is known for his monsters and his world building, and it's just, man, it looks so creepy. The monsters in this thing, the undead kind of creatures that you see, very scary looking.
And that was why, because I was sitting there and I'm going through this, like, there are a number of genuinely good horror movies that are coming out.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I feel like, I had to sit there, like, which one do I really want to put on my top 5? And I was like, Annabelle looked really good. The Dead Don't Die looked really good. One of my other honorable mentions, Child's Play.
I'm not sure about that one.
It's one of those, like, it's another big horror movie that's coming out. But I was like, the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark to me just really is, I think, going to nail. I think, outside of the It sequel that comes out in September, I think Scary Stories to Tell in the
I'm
Dark.
picking It 5 times when we get to that episode.
Just It. It's the It movie of the year. And I'm making jokes for a podcast that we haven't even done yet. Sandwiches! I was right there on that one.
You were on top
That
of
was
it.
an NBA Jam tournament edition alley-oop dunk right there. There's the flashing cameras, spinning, boom, and the on fire. That was what that dunk was.
Boom shakalaka.
Yes. That totally was that.
It's if you haven't seen the trailer, watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it during the day.
It is honestly probably, I mean, the in the Annabelle trailer when the girl lifts up the blanket, I was like, oh, you guys are doing the Grudge. You guys are doing the Grudge thing where like when the girl in the Grudge she comes home, looks under the blanket.
That was a great scare.
The lady's face is there. It was to me. It was one of
that
those
actually like that really unnerved me when they actually did that. That face.
The face is so off-putting, but the timing of it and the way that it was done, it made me laugh.
Okay.
And it was just because like she lifts up the blanket, they're
Go to bed.
I was like this. I was like, I'm sorry. It's like I know what you're doing, and it's one of those like it is shocking.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, even like it's shocking no matter how. But I was like, it just and so like when the girls lifted the blanket, it's like, are you guys doing the Grudge? You guys are doing the Grudge. You lift. It's like, but they did it really well.
Yeah.
But this trailer. Of all, because I watch. I mean, we both watch a lot of scary movies.
Yeah.
This trailer is one of the trailers I've seen in a long time that
It feels like a throwback scary movie in some ways, with like the body horror imagery, like the Cronenberg stuff, like the pretty girl with like the weird like pimple, but with like a hair coming out of it, and you're like twitching, and you're like, oh god.
Yeah, it's some very disturbing, very off-putting imagery, and it's just I feel like it's one of the scarier trailers that you've seen in a long time, and I think, like I said, outside of It Part 2, I think this may be one of the higher grossing horror movies that we'll see in 2019.
I hope so. That would be cool if it is. I'm not sure if it will because not many of his movies. Well, I keep saying it's his movie. It's not.
It's his movie. It's fine.
Yeah, it might as well be his movies. They don't typically earn a lot of money. But hopefully this is, they can make more movies like this if it is a success. And it can't be that expensive. I mean, he's the kind of director that gets a lot, I think, out of the budget that he does have.
Yeah.
So, it's probably not going to be like some like bloated $200 million budget. It's probably under $100 million, I would imagine. Yeah. And there's not a lot of big stars in it, if any at all, really.
Yeah, I think it's all no names from what I remember.
Yeah, so, it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it, and it's absolutely one of my honorable mentions.
Yes.
I'm afraid I'm gonna die, Dad.
We're next.
All right, moving on to number 5.
Number 5.
Okay, now this is a movie that already doesn't have great scores on some of the, I guess people have seen it already. On your different aggregate sites out there, but I've watched the trailer like 4 or 5 times, and it makes me laugh so hard every time. Good Boys.
Why am I drawing a blank on?
Drawing a blank on Good Boys?
Why am I drawing a blank on Good Boys?
You've probably seen it's not from the movie, but it's like Seth Rogen talking to these like 3 kids. They're like real foul mouthed, and he's like, and they're doing the whole bit where he's like, "Yeah, you could say the thing in the movie, but you're not old enough to watch the trailer." And they're like, "Wow, that's fucked up." And he's like, "I know." So like that whole thing kind of set the tone, but there's just like the part where like because they're like these young kids, and it's so stupid. I know. I think they have some drugs with them, or but they're like 6th graders. Yeah, I know, right? A Seth Rogen type joint, and I think it's made by what does this say? It's definitely in the Seth Rogen universe. The thing that they mentioned that worried me was they were like from the makers of Sausage Party, and I was like, no, don't mention Sausage Party.
Why would you want to do that?
That's terrible. But no, they said from the people who brought you Superbad.
Okay.
And I was like, super bad. Yeah.
We can-
One of my
yeah.
favorite comedies. Yeah, they ended on, and Sausage Party. No. Bad. When a child curses, it makes me laugh every
It's
single
wonderful.
time. It is just the best. It's rainbows. And these look like some, they look like genuinely young kids. And, if it's anywhere near as funny as Superbad, and you get like a Michael Cera or a, Jonah Hill like emerges from that, maybe, I don't know. But they were like walking along and the guy just like yells over, he's like, what is it that he says? Like, hey, Stranger Things, go fuck yourself, or something like this. Lines like that, I can't help but giggle because it's just so inappropriate that this, college-aged guy is just screaming that at these children. But they give it just as well as they take it.
Yep.
And it's perfect. It's like a Seth Rogen comedy in August. They haven't failed me many times. Sausage Party, I think, was the big setback.
Yeah.
But movies like The Interview and like those, I just adore those types of comedies.
Green
Late
Hornet.
summer.
Green Hornet.
No,
That was
Green
Seth
Hornet.
Rogen.
That was not a comedy, although it was pretty laughably stupid. But yeah, it's just young, it's little children cursing. And, they have, it's probably some sort of coming of age tale. Middle school, like I have all kinds of funny like memories of me and my friends acting stupid. Like kids talk like that in middle school. You don't see that in many movies, but they do talk like that.
Those
Maybe not to the
middle
degree
schoolers.
of these kids, but good boys.
You do not want to go to Soren's party not knowing how to kiss. We could spy on my neighbor. She's a total nymphomaniac.
Hey, Stranger Things, go fuck yourself!
I think I know what your last movie is going to be, but you go right ahead. Because you sort of teased it before, I think.
This is a movie that got pushed back.
Yep.
Because I had this on our first list.
Yep.
And then they pushed it back, so I was like, all right, fine. You want to push it back?
I'm going to pick it.
I'll just push it to my next list because Hollywood bases their release dates around this podcast. I bet you didn't know that.
We're tastemakers
and
pacemakers.
Exactly. Like for your heart.
Yeah.
we touch your heart.
Tell them the name of the movie,
very
Adam.
meaningful way. The Informer. Joel Kinnaman. I love Joel Kinnaman.
You're a big fan.
I'm a big fan, and Joel Kinnaman does not. I mean, I need to watch the series on Amazon Prime that just came out. Hannah. He is in that.
Oh, he's in that?
He is in that.
I actually dug that movie from a couple of years ago.
Yes.
I know people are like, they're making a show out of that. Like,
Why
not? That was a cool. It was a dope movie,
It was a really
man.
good movie.
Yeah.
It was a really entertaining movie. But it's.
He was also in Carbon,
Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon, the show on Netflix, really good.
Yep, RoboCop. He was. I loved the new RoboCop. I wish they would have made a sequel to it because I really enjoyed him as RoboCop. I know it didn't do as anywhere near.
Was
as
it
well
the
as they-
PG-13?
No.
Was it not? I don't know. It just really kind of wasn't as good a story. either.
It fell a little flat. I think they were, with that they were trying to, capture a larger audience than what you can get with an R rating. But I think the R rating and I think if they'd played it differently, I think it would have turned out better for him.
He played the Colonel Flag, I think, from Suicide Squad.
Rick Flag, yep.
Rick Flag, thank you.
That was the best character in Suicide Squad.
Best part is that you actually
probably
can
the
watch
only
it.
one I really tolerated.
I like him. I dig him. I'm trying to think of a guy he reminds me of from the past, and I'm having trouble. It's like a Dolph Lundgren, but he actually can speak English and can understand.
He's got an edge because he is Scandinavian, so you got that overlap there with Dolph Lundgren. But he's got an edge to him where he's tough. You could buy him as a guy that's that's going to do some physical damage and something. And
it's like a throwback of movies where it's like good action movies that are like Jean-Claude Van Damme level. Like he can do something really cool, turn to the screen and say something like a quippy thing.
Yeah.
And you love it for that.
Yeah, and that's with this, as I don't feel like the story is going to be terribly unique, but I feel like he is going to. I'm hoping, what my hope is that he shines well enough in this that it allows him to keep being. He's been at the front and center. I mean, Run All Night, which has Liam Neeson and Ed Harris. some big names in it. And
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He was
in that.
He was in that.
Okay.
And so he's been in front and center in a number of things.
That's a pretty good movie.
I'm always hoping for him to just somebody to take a little bit more note. I mean, he's been in more and more things, so I'm hoping that his stardom is on the rise.
I was very disappointed to learn that he won't be involved in the next season of Ultimate.
Yeah, he's not in that one.
I really dug his character.
Yeah, he was really phenomenal in that, and it's just I think there's more. I mean, that's why I was encouraged to see him in the Hannah show. Amazon Prime doesn't have a whole lot of shows, so to put him as one of the anchor characters in something they were really pushing, I was like, okay, this is good. So I was
Amazon Prime's kind of like the Showtime to HBO. You know, like there's good shows to be had.
Yeah,
but they don't have that.
They get eclipsed, which is unfortunate because they've really upped their production value a lot. But yeah, they don't have the market share that Netflix has to
and they're about to get pushed down even further.
Yeah, once Disney Plus comes out.
I don't know. Yeah, and so the plot is what again?
He's an informer for the FBI. He
just like the
hence
title.
the title. I love when that happens.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, he said the title. Are you Richard Simmons? But
gotta get that Peter Griffin in.
Oh, the Peter Griffin. Gotta love it. Clive Owen.
Where the hell has he been, man?
He's in it. I'm trying to think who's the I'm drawing a blank on the female now, who was kind of like the hand. It's Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike. God, she plays a nice crazy person.
Yeah.
Is she crazy in this movie?
She's the handler.
Okay.
She's the FBI handler for this informant. Things go south, and the FBI they make some promises to the guy. He goes back on the ends. He goes back to jail.
That's an interesting cast.
Yeah, he's on parole.
Sorry about my watch there, guys.
It's all right. It's all right. I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay.
You just put another sound effect there. Put a crazy sound effect.
Excellent.
There we go.
I'm gonna wear that Rad Dads out.
That's totally
There's
fine.
no Rad Dads even in this episode. Well, actually, sorry. Go ahead.
Maybe
there will be.
But yeah, he's an informant for the FBI.
Those are always entertaining. Yeah.
It creates a lot of tension because it's somebody being duplicitous that what happens if they get caught?
Yes. It's been done a lot.
It's not a terribly unique storyline, but I like the players that are involved: Clive Owen, Rosamund Pike.
It's like my Quentin Tarantino.
Exactly.
It's like I'd like the ingredients. I'm gonna get immersed in this little world for a couple hours, and that's all I really want.
So yeah, I've been excited. I was excited when it was going to come out in March. I'm still excited when it's coming out in August.
What if they push it back to the fall?
If they
all of a sudden,
if they push it further, I'm going to start making phone calls.
I want out.
We go along with the General's plan. Evidence of fentanyl being methodically distributed inside a state prison buries the General for good. And if that happens, you're a free man.
Maybe I'll start a postcard campaign.
Nobody ever does those.
No one sends postcards anymore. Like, hey, dear Hollywood, what's the deal with that Joel Kinnaman movie? Wish you were here. Love, Adam.
I wouldn't like to see that. Sure, he would.
I could write a Jim Gaffigan postcard. This city's got big buildings. I like food. Bye. Yeah, so The Informer.
All right, let's do honorable mentions. So for me, I've got 2 honorable mentions that haven't already been mentioned.
Okay.
The first is I have Men in Black International.
That's on my...
Chris Hemsworth. I love the guy. He's shown that he can be really humorous and funny in these movies.
Yep.
And I like the girl who...
Tessa Thompson.
Tessa Thompson. I enjoy her. So, if they're going to reboot this franchise, and you got your Liam Neeson in it, I kind of dug the trailer. I wouldn't have thought a movie without Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones would interest me. But, they're doing probably the right thing. If they want to continue to make that, Men in Black money, there's 2 people that are pretty good hands.
I'm glad they abandoned the idea of making a Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover.
Oh, yeah.
Because that just never made any sense to me.
Yeah,
like,
I know. Yeah, why? Do you not like these franchises, apparently?
You just want to kill both of them?
Yeah, you said once. No. This was a good choice.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in that. And the other movie I'm interested in is a movie called, I think it's called Midsummer.
Oh, the one of the Beatles? No. Yes? No.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so, yeah. So it's from the
yeah.
director of Hereditary. And, you know, that movie was just wonderfully bizarre.
That was a really, really good movie.
I like a good mind screw movie, you know, and
that is one.
Where Darren Aronofsky used to be like that, Aronofsky. Yeah, he used to be that guy for me, but he just, I'm done with that dude. This guy might be the new guy, and you know, it doesn't tell you much in the trailer. You know, I feel like there's going to be some sort of, because in Hereditary there really was like an out of nowhere turn. You know, like when that moment happened when like the little girl gets her head like taken off. That shocked me.
That was
and then like the ensuing 5 minutes where the kid just like pulls into the driveway,
he drives home.
He just drives
and
home,
then goes inside and goes to bed. And what happens the next morning? Mom comes out to use the car and finds her decapitated teenage daughter in the back seat. He's like, "Oh, I knew I forgot to take something."
I thought I forgot milk, but no, it was my sister's head.
It was the decapitated.
And I love that like quick like cut, like hard cut of like the maggot infested head they show. So I'm that movie was very interesting to me. I kind of want to see what he does with his second movie.
So there was some super creepy part. Like there was a lot of stuff that was, I mean, it was kind of easy to call, but like there was some genuine. Like I rewatched it recently, when at the very beginning of the movie, when creepy stuff just first starts to happen, and what's her face? She's in her little studio where she makes all the miniatures, and she's turning the lights out, and there's just a shadow over the corner.
Why am I blanking on that actress's name? It's just great in horror movies.
Yeah, she
Judy Greer maybe or something like that.
Toni Collette.
Way
You're close.
And White Broad.
It was a Caucasian woman. She's one of those great Caucasian women.
They all look alike, man. I don't even know. White Broad, Toni Collette. I turned into like Andrew Dice Clay there for like a second.
Yeah, there's this white broad in the flick. You're gonna love it. She does all these things. You go watch it.
No, but she was awesome in that movie, and I think she did she sold that movie really well.
She was very emotional, very intense. But there's like she turns off the light because she's leaving her little studio, and she looks over in the shadows, and you really got to be like, it worked very well in the theater, but I was watching it at home and I had to rewind it to catch it. But like she sees like the outline of what she thinks is her mom, and it really genuinely creepy.
Yeah.
So it's like that having that guy at the helm. This is not the movie about the Beatles. That's Yesterday. I was thinking.
Oh, okay, Yesterday. Well, or was that Lucy in the Sky? I don't know. There's a couple of different Beatle related.
Yeah, there's one that's coming out called Yesterday that has something to do with the Beatles.
Is there a Beatles song in this trailer though?
I don't know. There might be.
Maybe. Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
It's what's a Beatles song?
Help. I don't know.
It's that one. It's that song.
Louie.
And that's it. That's
definitely a Beatles song.
Yep.
There's creepy moments. I actually love the part where there's kind of a wide shot. There's this like wide up blow in it, man. There's like this wide shot of, you know, the treehouse or whatever, and you see like the girl just sort of ascend up very unnaturally into the, oh my God, like that part too just creeps me out. And the scene too where you see her walking like along the walls or whatever, it's a very eerie scene.
When you started talking, I remembered the scene at the funeral and the guy that smiles, super creepy.
Oh my God.
And then he shows up later in the movie, just hanging out. And he's totally naked, creepy smiling guy.
Yes, that guy was awesome. Yeah, in the very end upstairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, what the hell? That was a definite WTF moment.
What?
Why is he there?
Okay, I knew when he looked directly at the camera and smiled super creepy.
He's going to be back.
There's something that has, I was not anticipating that he would be fully nude again smiling super creepy. I was like, oh, I did not need
That's
that.
his thing for sure.
It's like, that's the super creepy smiling
probably
dude guy.
credited that way in the
I
movie.
hope so.
Too. Super creepy smiling. So we should definitely go see that movie again.
Yes.
And just take it in.
Yep.
So yeah, what were some of your honorable mentions
honorable
that I didn't already mention?
Let's see here. So I really thought, because I know you've talked it up a couple times, I thought Toy Story 4 would make your list.
Yeah, it seemed like an obvious choice. Why bother putting Toy Story 4? And I think it's going to be like, I personally, like, we can have this talk. I personally think it'll not do in-game money, but it's going to be also huge. I think it'll be one of those like $1 billion movies.
As Endgame is coming down, Disney will swoop back up with Toy Story 4. I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to make a lot more money.
We still get all the monies.
Yay! All of the money is ours.
Yeah, I know that you've said, like, I don't know if it's going to be as successful as you think because 3 kind of wrapped up nicely.
I worry about the story. That's the only thing that I worry about. Is it feels like there's an element to it that feels like when in Toy Story 2, when Woody is, he feels appreciated by somebody else. Like, oh, there's this allure that the Bo Peep.
Well, yeah, because it's Bo Peep.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you could be in this world where you make all these kids happy. So
I hear you. I just have total faith that this movie's
I know
be
they'll
good.
do well. I think that just from what they've shown me thus far is like, I ended on 3 with such a great emotional conclusion to the story.
It really was good.
I
yeah.
didn't need a 4.
I think they're going to end. It's going to be emotional. Also.
I know they'll do that, and it's like, but you did so well with 3.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
It could be that 4th movie that's unnecessary. Sometimes 4th movies they wear out their welcome, but
it's Toy Story is just such a reliable franchise that I know it'll be good. It was when I was like, I didn't need it. I liked when we just had 3.
I'm all in for another Toy Story movie.
I'll take the kids. I know they'll like it.
Oh yeah,
they're already looking forward to it. I would say probably the 2 on my list. Because I had Men in Black, the 2 on my list that are probably most kind of out of the mainstream: Artemis Fowl,
Aladdin.
Yep, no, not at all. No, that's going to be a steaming pile of monkey shit that I don't care about at all.
We're gonna go see it at the drive-in. It seems like a good drive-in movie.
If I was forced to go, like if you Clockwork Orange me and took me to a theater, strapped me in, opened my eyes, and made me watch the movie,
you would just kill yourself.
I would, through sheer tyranny of will, internally murder myself. I would stop my own heart.
Burst into flames.
Yeah, I would find a way. I was like, no, I will will myself into immediate death. Artemis Fowl. Just it's based.
That's
on
a Disney movie.
It's
right?
a Disney one.
Yeah.
It's based on a book series. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I saw the poster. It was not inspired to click on the trailer. For some reason.
I've seen the trailer, and it's one of those. I think it's a gamble. It's one of those like it could be really good or it could just flop. There's nothing about it to me that says like it's going to be, oh, you got to come see this movie. But it's one of those like it feels what I appreciate, and I don't know the story at all. Like I said, I mean, they give you some like it's a kid. He's like a spy or something like that. But there's like magic to it. It looked like okay, this is either really going to work or it's just going to crash and burn.
There's a reason why Disney bought Marvel and Star Wars and Pixar. This is the kind of movie that they've been putting out in recent years. Like they just don't have a great track record with movies that aren't Marvel, Pixar,
just a straight Disney movie.
Yeah,
like
adapted from a book or something. Like they just I don't know. Anyway,
so that one
didn't mean to yuck your yum.
No, it's one. It was definitely an honorable mention just because I'm curious about it, but I there's nothing right now that gives me any cause to have any huge amount of faith in it. Yeah. The other one, 21 Bridges. It's got Chadwick Boseman, Joe and Anthony Russo are, I think they're producers on it. I don't think they directed it, but they're involved. And it looks interesting. I'll be curious because it's one of those. I mean, Chadwick Boseman has played other stuff, but he obviously is probably
he was Jackie Robinson, right?
Yeah, he was Jackie Robinson. He was Clarence Thomas, I think, wasn't it? Was it Clarence Thomas? It was. I think it was
the disgraced Supreme Court justice.
Yeah, or no, maybe it was about a different Supreme Court justice.
Oh, okay,
I'm just thinking Supreme Court justices, and that was the first one that popped in my head.
That he would be right to play.
It was probably a different one. Now I got to look it up because now I feel really wrong in that.
What was he also James Brown?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
I thought he was excellent in that. Actually, I was not. I didn't mean the the Jackie Robinson movie was a little disappointing for me personally. But yeah, the James Brown movie, on the other hand, like I really wasn't expecting to be any good. Yes,
Marshall, Thurgood Marshall.
Oh,
Not
Thurgood
Clarence
Marshall.
Thomas.
There we go.
Not Clarence Thomas at all. Totally different story. Totally
very different.
story.
Yeah, very good. Okay.
It's all right because there's like anybody that's still watching.
Dude, I lost him probably on the Hobbs and Shaw comment.
That he may have.
The white broad for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like just everyone else that was left.
At this point, I'm talking to us in the future when you and I are the only ones still listening / watching.
Right.
Sorry, me and future Ron.
We're having a Bill and Ted bogus journey moment right now, I feel like.
Yes.
One day when we're huge and we're like 200 episodes in and people are like, oh my God, I love their podcast. I'm going to go back and like listen to their early stuff.
Don't listen to the early stuff.
Don't do it. No.
Don't.
We get better.
But I'm warning you in the past.
That doesn't really make sense.
Oh, this is bad.
Shit.
The only other one I had on my list, and they don't have a trailer for it, is Angel Has Fallen.
Oh yeah. Is that like the third movie in the trilogy?
It's the third movie and I was like,
Olympus Has Fallen and
London Has Fallen.
Yeah, London Has Fallen.
And I'm like, this, and these are movies that come out in June, July, or August.
Yeah.
And it's now May, and there's no trailer for Angel Has
Or
Fallen.
even a poster. I don't think.
I'm just like, there's not anything. And
but it's got Morgan Freeman in it.
Aaron Eckhart.
And Gerald Butler, right?
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler. So, if you like those other two movies.
I did.
I didn't see London Has Fallen, but
London Has Fallen.
I'm not against it or anything.
London Has Fallen, I enjoyed because they went from a PG-13 to an R, and in the R, the violence was a little bit more gratuitous.
Right
and
on, man.
Gerard Butler had a number of great
300 some people.
He had some great one-liners, some great action one-liners that I really enjoyed. So, but yeah, that closes out all of my honorable mentions.
So those are our movies that we're looking forward to.
Bunch of movies with white broads in them.
Let's move on to this. Excellent! Yes! That's like 3 times in this episode. Yes. Wearing it out. Okay. So this is, of course, Rad Dads. I really enjoy this segment a lot. And so there's tons of movies I could have went with. I'm going to go ahead and pick the movie that you, for some reason, don't even like or care about because you're weird. E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Oh, I hate that movie.
Yeah. We're going to be Henry Thomas in it.
I hate Henry Thomas.
I hear you. But Drew Barrymore is delightful.
Even if Henry Thomas wasn't in that, I think I still would not like that movie.
I like the brother. Like I really dig the relationship between like the two brothers.
Two brothers.
They're just two brothers.
And they have a strong bond.
And then things get kicked into
12th
gear. No, but that movie feels. I love E.T. I remember seeing it as a kid in theaters. Watched it a ton of times, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with my kids.
I would have liked to see the sequel that they had planned.
That would be interesting.
It was way more violent. The aliens were going to come back.
Was that with Sigourney Weaver?
There was legitimately an E.T. 2 planned.
Oh my God!
That was going to be
Thank
way
God
darker.
They didn't do that. Yeah,
way darker. Oh my God. That one I would have watched. If he would have come back and killed Henry Thomas, I'd have watched that all day long.
Like a Terminator situation. Okay, all right. But yeah, E.T., you guys have seen it. We've all seen it. Now my kids are going to see it. What's your Rad Dad's pick?
I am going, and I inadvertently teased it earlier when I brought up Coach Gordon Bombay. We're watching the Mighty Ducks.
Which one?
The first one.
All right.
The original.
I love that. Do you own that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't own that.
Yep.
I need to. There's got to be like some sort of Blu-ray pack that's got them all. No?
Not yet.
That's insane.
They're just on DVD.
That's insane.
Yep.
What?
That's wrong.
They're not even out on Blu-ray or even 4K?
Nope.
That is
not that
wrong.
I'm aware of.
I can't believe that. Those are beloved movies, man.
Yeah.
Especially the first two.
Coach Gordon Bombay. They really, it always kind of upset me because the first one, you got the local hockey team.
Yeah.
And they triumph over,
it's total Bad News Bears, man.
Exactly. You got the superior team, you got the Bad News Bears, and they end up triumphing. Yay! Go for Misfits. Then you have the second one, and
it's
they're
a
like,
win.
Yes, kids that don't normally get picked for things, and then they do well, which would be a really great title for a movie. I'm gonna write that movie.
Hey kids. You're not actually going to do well. You're not actually going to get picked for things if you suck at sports.
Yeah.
That's really what we're talking about here. Well, anyway.
Second one, they're like, you know what we're going to do? You guys are going to compete in the Junior Goodwill Games.
Against the world.
Hockey teams from the rest of the world, like Jamaica.
Yeah, because they have a strong hockey team.
What? Why does Jamaica have a Junior Goodwill Games hockey team?
I don't know.
But Iceland is obviously they're the foes.
Iceland. God.
You know,
hated Icelandians.
They're just such a, Reykjavik. No.
Were the Russians not available?
Apparently not. We went to Iceland.
Even the Canadians, I would take.
They're too sorry. But
sorry
about that, eh? But so you have them triumphing in the Junior Goodwill Games against Iceland. Like internationally, these guys are great. Then the third one, are like, we're going to send you guys to a private school, and oh no, there's a varsity team here. Like,
huh?
But we beat Iceland in the Junior Goodwill Games against other teams around the world.
Somebody didn't see the second Mighty Ducks movie, I guess.
So you want us to play a varsity team, and you want us to be scared by that?
Yeah.
But there's no Gordon Bombay.
Okay, yeah.
He's got like a little
If
bit.
there's no Gordon Bombay, who cares? Which is probably why I didn't see the third one.
It's really not.
I mean, it's probably fine for a kid, but
it's okay.
Yeah, it's just okay. It's just okay.
When
it's
you're hungry
Ducks.
when you're hungry for another Mighty Ducks, you're like, and then you're like,
When you can't have a sandwich, but you're still hungry for some Mighty Ducks.
yeah. You're like, oh, did they put Henry Thomas in those? Probably.
That's why people didn't see it. All right, man. So that we'll lead off with the next episode with Rad Dads and
Excellent!
We're gonna lead off with Rad Dads next week, and we'll go from there. It's gonna be a surprise what the main event will be next time.
Who
We
knows?
don't even know actually.
Who knows? We don't. Not us.
Mitch, if you're out there and you have any ideas for an episode, just send us a postcard.
Send us a postcard.
Send us a postcard. Your beautiful calligraphy.
Calligraphy. We know how enchanting it is.